hours left until we get to the weekend. It has been a bit of a roller coaster, kind of a day, back and forth a little bit. We are basically back to day highs as we speak right now, but a nice look to end the week off. Very, very positive outside of the Dow, kind of lagging a little bit here, negative 0.12. Still, the Dow working on 5 of 6 positive weeks heading into the weekend. So a nice look anyways for the Dow, even though it's flat today. 0.9 there for the S&P, 1.8 for the NASDAQ. Leading the way, has been leading the way all day long. Very, very positive, obviously, for individual tech names. It's all about individual names, though, as we sit here this afternoon as far as what was available for opportunity. Biggest moves coming from individual names. I'll show you the board here in a sec, but TSX futures, these are the futures, but the index itself higher on the day. 2% there for Brazil to the upside, 2% still for crude oil to the upside. More negativity for Bitcoin and Ethereum, although we are well off the lows following that news this morning of FTX. I guess their inevitable demise, declaring bankruptcy if you missed it. I wanted to point out these two up here right away. Communication services as a group among the most positive on the day. But look at that. Paramount and Warner Brothers both having huge days. 13% for Paramount, catching up a little bit after what happened yesterday. Netflix, another 4% on top of yesterday. Goog there, I don't see, oh, there's Google. So 0.1% difference between the preferred shares and the Google shares there. Tech stocks, though, pretty positive right across the board. Enphase notably weak, 4.8% downside. It's had a huge week, though, so some profit taking. I was looking for the other one here as well. There it is, SEDG. 2.3% still positive on the day. AMD, though, we're going to talk about semiconductors coming up here. It's all about semiconductors today. So strong coming out of big rally yesterday. STX WDC here among the biggest individual gainers in the hardware equipment group. Same story for software names, but I want to mention all of these as well because it is a negative healthcare group right now, only just, but big moves regardless. ALGN, COO among the biggest to the upside. But look at all the negativity in here. Big moves back down after a rally yesterday. So healthcare stocks are a notable weak spot right now. Consumer discretionary names are notably strong, including casino names, as we were discussing with the China angle this morning. Consumer staples, utilities, and real estate stocks also in negative territory. Hope your Friday afternoon is going well. It is a 0.8 kind of an afternoon right now for the S&P, but positive regardless. We'll jump into a few things we were discussing to kick things off this afternoon. If you joined us back in the pre-market, so many individual opportunities. We were kind of concerned about that 10 a.m. number as well. The Michigan sentiment number had an inflation portion to that number that does come out. That did move the market, but ends up being a non-event regardless. Neil is going to lead us off this afternoon, have a look at one of his trades from this morning.
Welcome, Trade of the Day, brought to you by Day Trade of the World. As always, it's going to be Amazon today, and really, there were a lot of opportunities out there. I liked the casinos a heck of a lot. That was the first place I went to. There were some shorts. You had to be careful with those, but you knew the long was going to be in play if we had some continuation yesterday's trade. I mean, just unbelievable off CPIs. When I show you the 15-minute chart, you're just, googly eyes right down here when you're going 85 all the way up to a 98.5 top. And so when you're breaking out, and I'm not even bothering showing you way back when, last couple of weeks, because it is more or less about this consolidation up at the highs. 98.5, you got a 96 down there. Obviously, not much of an opportunity at that here today. And so at the open, I'm looking for anything that's going to show me signs of relative strength or relative weakness to give me a direction. Because when you have that big of a gap and that big of a move in yesterday's trade, I was open to the ideas of some shorts. But all I saw when you tested lower on Amazon was this little dip. It didn't quite get to that 96. And that's sort of the problem. Like it came pretty close to that 96 level, didn't quite get the fills down there for the dip buy. And at that point, okay, how do you get into a structured long? Well, you get a bit of a break, it tops out at 99 even, and then I come right back to yesterday's high. So when you're in the midst of a breakout, the first entry point I like if you don't have the break or you don't have the consolidation bottom is going to be previous high. Does it hold the previous high? That's exactly what we see on the first dip. Puts in a lower high. I don't take anything out. Didn't really have everything I wanted. Another test at that 98.5, previous day's high. This time, I do elect to scalp in the range thinking, well, if it's going to go sideways for a bit here, we'll go in and out and then wait for the break. And this is where you have to be a little bit patient. Because if you're going to break this consolidation, my expectation is you're going to see 100, and that's the next place that we get out, in front of that 100 level. At this point, you're looking at absolute jailbreak. I'm taking a 100 break and scalping it, and then I'm rinse and repeat, which is simply the next high, dip buy off that previous high, which is now 99.5, and then right up into that high of the day. I did have a VWAP trade that I wasn't in love with, and of course, as you can see right here, I chuckle about this because I told Sean this was going to happen. Taking out this 101. There's been a huge iceberg order up here. I did have a couple longs going into it, but the breakout now happening through this 101, super strong name. The key was, not only was it trending to the upside, but it was giving you simple technical entries on pullbacks, and then giving you the move to the next level before it would even slow down. So that's a beautiful long trending trade. As always, there's always a place that I can do better. And I think it's pretty obvious when I look at this last channel here, and with that 99 consolidation and break higher, the 98.5, that's where it ended up holding up. So ignore VWAP. I should have been looking at this 98.5 to 99 for that re-entry point. Always got to be able to nitpick, because it's not just about celebrating the wins, it's about how could you do better. And for me, getting into that thing at lunchtime when the market was pulling back, certainly the story. There's so many longs that have worked in the last couple of days. So I always like the question to be, A, how can you do better? How could you have more shares? How could you have more entry points into that trend? And then B, how can you get more trades in total in terms of finding these nice breakouts? So Amazon, this one worked out really well without even having it at 9:30. As always, check us out daily and check out that QR code below. Start your trading journey the right way at Day Trade the World.
Huge moves right across the board. Amazon was on the watch list this morning, coming off that note yesterday of cost cutting. I was actually a little surprised that if you dig into that story this morning, you would have seen that their cost cutting or investigation into where they could possibly cut some costs included the Alexa division. So maybe not a profitable business for them as of yet, but they were going to take a look at Alexa. Anyways, Amazon on the watch list this morning, as were a ton of other opportunities. Let's jump into a few of those. Before we do, actually, wanted to show this. Here is Bitcoin right now. Still keeping our eye on what's happening. We're just chopping around here after the initial FTX move, or FTX news, I should say, move as well, came out this morning. We bounced nicely back to 16,800. It's been chopping around between 17,000 and 16.5, we'll call it, most of the day. This, however, on this side is the dollar. Right now, as we speak, making day lows on the session for the DXY here, 2 days in a row. Absolutely getting crushed back to the downside, which is, in the end, helping out stocks right now, which are taking out the highs, including a number of tech names. We'll talk a little bit of Meta coming up here, as it's been in focus all afternoon. I want to mention, though, some of the Chinese names that we were discussing this morning end up being a pretty good fade out of the gate. If you missed it, there was stories overnight, number of them, of China easing COVID restrictions once again. And this time they actually did it. So they came out and they lessened the quarantine time for anyone who was exposed to a positive case. And that included travelers into and out of the country. But here we go, guys. Day highs right across the board.
Yo, yes. What up? We're still chilling. We're stone cold chilling. We've got Apple right now, $1 in the money. We're pretty happy about that. Unlike yesterday, we had to take the trade, while it was breaking. We did basically the same thing today, breaking through 149. What a great day again. Another 2%. Give me a break. That's 7.5 yesterday plus 2% today. I mean, you're almost up 10% here in 2 days on the NASDAQ off of a game changer yesterday in the CPI. So, I don't even, honestly, again, thank you for everyone that's been tweeting at me today and everything like that for those Q calls. From 18 cents to $8, that's just an amazing run up here for the Qs. Could have never thought that this was going to happen, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's going to be a great weekend, and I hope it's great for everybody else. That was a fantastic little run up, and we know that bear markets can create huge rally opportunities, and yesterday was just one of those situations. I'm absolutely thrilled with the way that's worked out, and I'm glad to be able to do that for everybody as well. But hey, you make some calls, they work, some calls they don't, but this one pays off for every single one you've ever got wrong, I guess. Netflix up to 288 as well today. Wow, lots of names moving around, man. We're long Apple. We just took a piece out there at 140. 150, sorry. Let me see, what was it actually, where did we just take it? Yeah, 150. We took another piece out there at 150. So some nice longs, 3-4 times in there, all the way back. I don't know what I was doing here, sleeping. I would have gone long again there. But nice little move back up to the upside as we watch Apple just continue to push us higher and higher and higher. It's been a good day, man, and we're not going to stop here. Hopefully you'll be able to find some more longs for you. I don't even want to play short, so we're going to look for longs on any pullbacks.
Yeah, I'm playing short in AMC. I am short AMC. It's just one of those, when that stock gets to a certain level, there's always a retrace to be had. I'm actually glad I didn't just have that break on Amazon, because finally it did take out 101. It got to 101.19. So, I mean, if you scalp that, you could have got a little bit, but it's still holding near the top end of the range. So I am still looking for the opportunity to go long in here. It might just be this pullback gives you that chance. If it starts holding 175 or 160, something in that range, I might just get in, or just take the top break if it takes out the current high. But we still haven't gotten through 4,000. I would really like to see us get through 4,000, and then you can have just about anything there. So I know we're going to go through the rundown. The other thing I'm in is XPeng. I've basically been sitting in that. AMC is very clearly a newer position. But XPeng, I was in XPeng, like I think it was right after we came off air at 11 when it was making that top, and I was sort of saying XPeng's getting there, it's getting there. Well, shorted it off of the highs, and then the lower high as well. Didn't quite get to $8 in VWAP, and now it's back to my lower re-entry price. So I'm really just giving it to $8.45 here on this last reload. These Chinese ADRs have been super strong. We're going to talk about that in a second. But while AMC is a new position off the highs, I've basically been sitting in XPeng, and I'm not looking to reload this thing either. 18% to the upside on XPeng. I know it's not alone, but wow is all you got to say.
I was just seeing a note here. Wow. Speaking of wow, 2 days now, obviously huge moves for the NASDAQ. If we closed right here, right now, it would be the biggest two-day rally since 2008. So that kind of puts it in perspective. Let's talk chip makers here a little bit. We were discussing both AMD and NVIDIA if you joined us in the pre-market this morning. NVIDIA earnings still to come as well. Keep that in mind. Next week, we get NVIDIA earnings. If you remember going back earlier in the week, they came out with that new chipset that meets the new U.S. regulations for exporting to China and for interactions with China. So NVIDIA with its own positive momentum. This was late in the day yesterday. AMD out with the new data center chip, saying Google and Microsoft's Azure already signed up to be customers for this. So what a day again today for some of these chip makers.
To be sure, I have an NVIDIA long, but I'll start the other direction because I've said I will be short every single day until this trend looks like it's broken on Intel. And today is the day that it feels like it's really, truly broken. Because after earnings, they had a big move to the upside on earnings, and then it was just a fade after that. But this is actual follow-through on Intel through that 29.5. And I was short off of that, off the pre-market highs, took my stop. Was actually looking pretty solid off of that 29.80 yesterday's top, and then it ended up losing once again. Should have reversed it at some point. That's all hindsight, but the 30 level, it gave you lots of opportunities to get that top once it was through 30. I tend to always have something I like short, enter twice, something I like short, something I like long. I did like NVIDIA. I didn't catch that dip buy because I was looking at other things at 9:30 and it wasn't necessarily the top of my list. But once that was breaking out the high, that was a pretty clean break, that 161. And looking at the market trying to top here, I do want to favor two areas. One, that breakout price. I want to keep it as simple as possible in the afternoon, which is, buy dips in front of breakout levels, buy dips at even support, and maybe even like the VWAP retracement. So those are two places I like over in NVIDIA. I do feel maybe Intel stretched itself a little bit too thin. I didn't think the quarter was great. The news that I'm reading about is how AMD, which we'll talk about when Sean talks about it here, is cleaning the clock when it comes to the data center, and that was just coming out this morning to further reiterate that. So that's why I was bearish on Intel. But there was always going to be that day, like that day where what works for 3 weeks in a row is going to be the day that you're not going to be able to pull that trade off, and today was that day in Intel. But I like NVIDIA's strength. I want to be on the bid here, 161, to ride this train even higher.
All right. Whoa. Brad just told me we're only entering lotteries when it's 50 million or more.
That's kind of random.
No, but I guess there's 11 of us, right? So so you want to take home at least 4 mil. I get it. I get it.
There's 11 people in that office?
I mean, really? I don't know. You just let me know when I owe you more money, man. I mean,
The funny thing is, even if it could be
I
going
mean, only
to,
when it's 50 mil, like
it could be going to Super Chicken, and I wouldn't have any clue.
Why
He's just
can't
kind
we
of like, you owe me $6. And it's like, okay, here you go.
I know, it's like we never see the lottery receipts or anything like that.
I haven't seen one. Are we actually playing the lottery?
The only way we know we won is when we don't see Pratt anymore. You know,
True.
because then all of a sudden, I mean, what's wrong with splitting up 30 mil?
It doesn't matter. I don't see, like, whatever.
Oh, man.
You just do it for the fun of it.
Yeah,
right?
that's
Like,
why we're doing it, for sure.
You do office pools for the lottery because you don't want to, like, if it wins, you don't want to be like, ah, crap, I was the only person that wasn't in there.
I don't want to, like, you know, bring anybody down or anything, but you're not
winning.
You're never going to win the
Hell
lottery.
no.
I mean, if you do, that's fantastic. But I mean, you're probably not going to. Okay. All right. Thanks, Brad, for that one. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm down to enter it whatever it is at this point right now. Okay, that's still Apple. We want to talk about AMD. AMD again. Look, I'm just going to show you something right here, and then I'm just going to basically be quiet for the rest of the show, and all you guys can be happy and listen to Neil and stuff like that. Look, look at this. So first of all, here's my Twitter. I go to profile here. I go to here. I see this. That's that call. Now we're 40 times right now on the queues from the call that we made 3 days ago. 40 times on those options. But I just want to look right here. Like, this is what I wrote down for AMD today. You know, another huge move yesterday, right into a key level of 70. Now new chips, momentum should get this name to 72. Buying dips, take the 70 break. Take the 70 break right there. So, oops, got to put this away now, and let's go over on AMD. So, again, here's the 70 break. Here's the rip rate to 72. It stops, drops, could have got long again, and now you're just off to the races. We were long in the pre-market. We were long. That was nothing. But it's this position right here at 69 that we were long early right there. It just kept going down, and I was like, okay, makes sense. Up 7.5% yesterday. Maybe today is the day that we go back down. And we were, you know, fine with doing that. And it's not even that big of a hit. It's just like, it sucks because the rest of the day, it's nothing but upside love here for AMD. Right back into 72. So, you know, I didn't buy the dip in this name in my long-term portfolio. We obviously have other names, but this one just continues to work to the long side. And I just think you don't stand in the way of momentum. I mean, look at it, just follow this 50 period all the way. Now you're starting to break it. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't want to play shorts here. Would have been a good idea. We did get some out on the top there for Apple. The market is pulling back in right here, but I just want to go long. This is the 200 period. It's only been down here pre-market. Other than that, it's let it go all the way up. I think I'm going to wait for a 72 bid here on AMD, but wow, what a great move today for all the chip names, NVIDIA, everything included. I know Neil just did his spiel on Intel there, but fantastic day. I think there's more to come. I mean, NVIDIA, when you're looking at it, I mean, you can look at all these on a daily chart. AMD was just at 55 last week, and then look where NVIDIA was last week. You're going to talk about last week, so November, whatever it is. I mean, we can take any of these wicks. Let's just call it this bottom right here, 134. It's put up $30 in 3 days. So, I mean, great movement to the upside, trying to break out some levels here, just clearing over that gap. We had a data issue right there, but you got to get into through here. That's going to be a key level. We're bouncing off 163 right now. So, hey, I like all the names. If you're in SOX L or SMH, I mean, those names are really, really rocking to the upside right now as well. These, again, are triple levered, or I think maybe it's double levered. Let me just check this out right here. It says 3 times. So 3 times on this. This SOX was $7 back on the 3rd. $13 today. So, you know, up about 80% there in about a week for SOX. So lots of stocks popping off here, lots of great names, lots of great trades. And the semis, they, you know, I was reading an article that was talking about how the semis are like the new transports. Transports used to sort of be the turn of the economy and give you a good read on what's happening. And it seems like right now the semis are starting to pick back up. Hey man, Internet of Things. These chips are in everything, Brendan.
Afternoon difficult. It's fine though. Let's talk about Polestar a little bit. It was on the watch list. PSNY with earnings, decent report, decent forecast. They reiterated their 50,000 production target for the end of this year, saying they're still on track for that. Loss was smaller than expected as well for Polestar. I actually saw one of those at the gym the other night. They're pretty nice. I didn't even realize. But there's not a lot of them, I guess, in Canada, but they're pretty nice cars.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it.
I've seen them. They were in Sherway for a while.
Okay. I mean, I actually
went in one. They're small.
Yeah.
Right, Brendan? Is it only one model?
It's just a coupe. Yeah.
It's a really small car, but they're really cool, and they're like 35 grand or 40 grand or something.
Well, that's it right there. Like, I mean, sometimes you gotta have a niche because that's. I think for a lot of the smaller EVs, it's going to be about carving that niche because you are battling some legacy names.
If this is over $6,
tough to beat.
okay,
But it never broke 6. So a couple of things didn't really work out in terms of finding that entry point. It did bounce off $5. So I know it ended up holding $5.20. Small caps weren't at the top of my mind, and in this one, it bounced pretty much where I wanted it to, and then I was not really focused on it at all. And I'm not seeing much of a trade here in the afternoon. You can see it going sideways. Like the market is just testing this 4,000. That's the S&P testing that 4,000. That's lagging the NASDAQ, as a matter of fact. So many things that look a little more interesting than this, holding and consolidating that low. I did want to, before we move on here, I just want to acknowledge the super chat. Thank you, David Moore, for the 20. Says your portfolio is up 20% the last 2 days. Been watching the show the last year and a half. Love you guys. We love you too. We appreciate everybody that watches the show, everyone that contributes, everyone that enjoys it, everyone that's just part of this community. It's a great one, and that's what it's all about here. And I know some people were watching this stock, and I think a lot of everybody wanted, or not everybody, a lot of people were looking for this to maybe break out here, thinking if it had a chance to go, there was a lot of room past that 6 even. But hey, it's still up 19% on the session. Just not a heck of a lot to see this afternoon for this name. I'm just going to quickly go back to AMC because it's on the move a little bit here, so I want to update. I got out another leg here at 690 when I reloaded at 7 even because it is now holding this 690. So that VWAP retracement maybe not as in play as I thought before. So it is heading back into the upside. If it puts another lower high in and bounces off 690 a third time, I might just get out of Dodge here. Strong name, and obviously it's going up with the market here. But when this breaks out late in the session, it's not one that you want to stand in front of. It's one thing when it does like a big kind of parabolic move up and then puts in some lower highs. You don't mind sitting in the short. But when it starts taking out that high again, you want to make sure you get the heck out of Dodge here. Unless it's some kind of weird fail break and I can just jump back into it. This is looking pretty strong. And GameStop as well.
Oh man. Okay. We are obviously long Apple, which has been a nice trade. We're talking about Polestar. Okay, so that's why I called up Tesla here to look at it because Neil just went over Polestar. I mean, I'm not going to beat a dead horse here. But Tesla right now looks like it wants to. Where's my 20-minute? I just want to show everybody what we're talking about. Here's 195, 196 coming into play again right now for Tesla. So it's this kind of top and bottom that we've messed around with. It's really 197 as the top. So I'm gonna put on a small short here just to see if it works. I'm not punching. Wow, look at this spread on Tesla there. Are you kidding me? I just offered 81s there. I could have punched 78s, was on the bid. But okay, so all right, let's just regroup on that one. Funny. Hopefully it'll come up and hit me anyways. But here's Tesla. It's already been up here. I don't know what that, see what I'm saying? Like you put out an order, then all of a sudden the stock goes down 30 cents for absolutely no reason. The momentum brings it back up and we are now short here on Tesla. I'm not, look, like I said, we're long in the money quite well now on Apple and doing quite well on that one. This is not a momentum play. This is nothing to do with that. It's just that 197. We just saw it there. I'll call it up on our e-signal charts because I think it'll look a little bit better for you. Here it is right into here, coming into play. So we touched it there. Yesterday, we didn't quite get there. We talked about it, 193. But it's this level right here, which is, 196.50 is really the area of concern for me. So we'll average it one more time upside. This is not a trade where I want to put on a lot of shares because, like I said, we're already long Apple and really liking this one. We just took a piece out at 150 for Apple. Wow, Apple 150. It's unbelievable the run that name just had in the last couple days as well. But I'm going to put on another piece near that 196.50. If we take 197, we'll blow ourselves up and get out of that one. So very, very small amount of risk on this trade right now. Like I'm almost out of my Apple trade, and I have less shares still on Tesla right now than Apple. So I'm going to take this short right here. Let's see if it can print. If it does, fantastic. We'll look to get it back down into here, 194. We'll see if we can take a smooth $2. I'm not trying to just trade for pennies. We're trying to make dollars. So let's see if that on a name like Tesla, anyways. So let's see if that can happen here, back down to the downside. But if I did have a full position on, and I keep seeing this thing bouncing off 50, then yeah, I think I would take some out for 40, 50 cent winner. But for right now, we don't have a big enough piece. I'm going to wait at 196.50, which is that key level, and then give it a little bit more than that. Give it some room to breathe here. But Tesla right now initiated into a short to match up with our Apple long.
For anyone that missed it, this was about 1 o'clock this afternoon. This note came out. They're going to open North American charging right across the board. So that'll give the opportunity for anyone who drives something other than a Tesla to use Tesla stations and vice versa as well. So if you have a Tesla, then you can also use other charging stations. So that came out again about 1 o'clock this afternoon there for Tesla, bottom of the list there. Amazon, we can revisit here if you want. Wall Street Journal, this was yesterday, obviously, about 1 o'clock. What do you know? Amazon cost cutting. And again, if you read into this note a little bit, I was actually surprised to see, guys, one of the units that they're going to look into is actually the Alexa unit, which I know probably 5-6 people off the top of my head who have an Alexa in their home and thoroughly enjoy it. So I was surprised to see that that might be one of the unprofitable units for Amazon.
Yeah, I mean,
my kids each have one with those screens.
Yeah, I know
they like them. I don't know.
Everyone I know seems to love that thing, but sometimes it's like, who knows the inner workings? Because Amazon, quite frankly, you know that they have lots of like loss leaders out there throughout their offerings, and that's kind of been how they roll. I talked about it for Trade of the Day, and I kind of look at this now as we get back up to that high. At some point, we're back at that 4,000. At some point, this needs to break or get off the you-know-what at the pot. I'm going to get to Win in a quick second because Win's about to make a run at that high of the day. But how many times, like my gut was telling me, when it did that failed break, if I was sitting there, I'm usually shorting this, a failed break that holds 101 that many times and that strong a move that does this, almost certainly I'm looking for a short trade. So if it does it again, then I got to be looking for a short again. The risk to reward now for it to go to like 101.20 as a stop price just makes a heck of a lot of sense to me. But I still like that breakout on Amazon. It's 4.5 into the market, into a market that obviously is strong, but only a fraction of that. I just want to go to my 15 again. Like you have a lot of room to still possibly run to this upside. So if the market holds 4,000, I do like the notion of getting long through that top. But if it can't break the top, I got to take a shot at the short trade. And I know only because it's not there, you've now got yourself a, whoops, Win is on the NASDAQ, Neil. I always feel like every single casino should be on the New York. It's just my gut. But Win was an early long for me, and now, there it is. Okay, so Win just broke the high of the day. I was about to point out, double top, taking out the highs as the market's going. So I'm back on the Win train. I did have some longs off VWAP, gave them up, I think, a little bit too early. Consolidation long break here on Win. So you'll see me long after it broke 78.50. And then Amazon, like just coming back over to that. It's now making that run at the high. So if I see it break 101.20, fail to hold above, or even just get back below 101 without breaking it, then, I'm just going to short that 101 on the way back in. If it takes out the top, I am looking for a long break in Amazon. I'm not going to sit in position until it goes one way or the other.
Well, I'm really, really happy with some of these names here. I know you've already talked about Intel, but Intel just ripping up now to 30.60 right now. Taking some names on that one. Amazon, wow. Or Intel, wow, big name right there. Amazon, okay, so we only tried it once, man. We actually made some money on the short right there at 99.50 when it came back in. Took some profits back down there at 99. Now you're just ripping to the high side for Amazon. Another huge winner here as they're just going to keep on working, I feel like, over and over again. So Amazon, again, another big win for anybody that bought that dip on earnings. I mean, it was scary for a while, but I just kind of like the same thing I said about, getting those 40 times right now, those 40 times in the money Q calls. I almost feel like this one right now, $87, up to 101 in a matter of 3 days. Or wait a second. This is the 10th right here. So this is. No, that's the 11th. Okay, yeah, I guess we were down there yesterday. Yeah, of course. We were down there yesterday. So, you know, that's ridiculous. This is a monster move back up to the upside. I mean, you're talking about $20, almost $20 on 80. So, I mean, you're up a smooth 20% in 2 days. It seems like it's way too much, but, you know, with the momentum that's happening in this market, it does feel really silly to stand in the front of in front of this thing. So Amazon just continues to work to the upside. I mean, you are getting that top tail right there, plus that right there. So, you know, I could see a world where, hey, Amazon does, you know, pull back a little bit here. I don't think I want to do it yet today until the NASDAQ seems to want to break, but for right now, you know, it's just, this just continues to go, man. Whenever you think it's going to break and you put on the short, you know, you've just gotten railroaded. So I think the same thing's true here for Amazon. Like, you know, you thought it was going to break and go short there. Nope. You thought it was going to break and go short. Nope. Here you might have had a chance, and then right back up to the upside. So I think I still want to do the same thing we did yesterday. Look for longs and just try to stay long on these names. But unfortunately, I've been sort of surfing here as we're talking, and I haven't really been able to find anything. The closest I got to buying something was going to be AMD on this dip right here. That just happened 10 minutes ago, but we didn't do it. So yeah, we're gonna find something to do that on, but wow, this market just keeps on going upside there. We just missed. How is that possible? We are at 48. Like, this is not a word of a lie. We are at 48 here for Tesla to get short. It went to 47. I give up, Rendo.
We've done the run now.
Meta here, guys. It's not moving the stock, maybe a little bit downside, but executive saying 20% growth in time spent on Instagram Reels, cost cutting, exiting portal business. Not sure what that is, but just be aware. A few things if you're watching Meta, a few things coming across right now. They're making some comments.
Okay, so I think we're done the rundown. But a couple people asked, like, why am I short AMC? I did just go over it. But that's fine. I was long it this morning for the breakout trade. Probably didn't give that 50 enough credit because I think the second time it came through. It's not an excuse. It's just the truth. Had a meeting at 12 o'clock because this is. I was just talking about the setup for breakouts today and had a 12 o'clock meeting when this happened. I did have the initial break at 650 long. That stopped me out. And then that 650 really went. Took out 7, did a wick top. That's a short entry for me almost every single time. I'm not really reloading it. You can see my stop. I'm crossing up to 22 or something like that. But if it takes out the high here, I'm just out of dodge. So I scalped it a couple of times. If it takes out the top, I want to be out of this one to be sure. I should have found my way back into it, but I'm never, like, I wouldn't put a stop order long or short, doesn't matter. Like, I wouldn't enter into a position on a breakout if I'm not sitting there. I just feel like that's a little bit reckless. It's one thing, like, you have a stop protecting you, and then you're going into, say, like a long position in front of support, and you have a stop. Yeah, you can kind of let that fill come in and take you out, but I'm not really going to be doing that if I'm not away from the desk. So if we take out the high on AMC, no secret, I'm out of dodge, and then walking away from that one. I talked about getting into, I am looking for some other long opportunities. I did get into Win, looking for a few others out there, but I did want to mention, as you went to you went to Meta, Alibaba has been, I know it's up 1%, but it's been relatively weak all day long. I had one long off of 72. That's a level I liked. It bounced a little bit, gave you 70 pennies, and then just the second it broke that 72, there's a reversal. So kind of felt like I had the area right. Just should have been reversing that direction. If we get back into this 71.50 area, and I'm sort of looking over and this market continue to churn, BOBA might have a chance here. It's putting up some higher lows and really starting to go. I want opportunities, not just things taking out the highs, but like where can you get some run on something that maybe hasn't gone yet, and BOBA might fit into that circle.
All right, we're going to go like this again because there it is, man. We're going to take advantage of Apple again and just take another piece out on this name as it just touches 78 there. We take a piece out on that one, and yeah. I stood in front of my own order there and got it. So we got short there at 38, I believe, or was it 35? It was 35. So we got a 35 short in Tesla, giving us our average price now of 13s here for Tesla. So 196.13. We are now short into Tesla. I'm just gonna make sure I have the right order out, which I do. So yeah, 197. Wants to go upside, take us out 197. I'm down with that right now. So let's just wait to see what's happening here with that position. 196.60 looks like it's the top right there. So this is, you know, when you look at this chart, it's right there. Like we're right at that level. It goes right back to the 7th where we sort of made that bottom. And then the next day just cracked off of it, right? So I don't know. I feel like this is a little bit of like data mining, looking for specific reasons here. But again, Tesla, let's just see. We know it can go up, and it will absolutely rip our face off if it does. But hey, we're almost at the high of the day for myself. We're up more. You guys know the kind of day we had yesterday. I'm up more today. So let's just. Let's hold this to 197, because if I get out now because for 20 pennies or something like that, I won't be happy. You can't take 20 pennies on Tesla, not when my plan is to lose 80 if we're wrong. So let's hold out on Tesla. I do have a bid right here, right at the 50 period, which would give me that 1-to-1 ratio. So being short at 13, getting out at 50, as opposed to getting out on the upside at 197. So I'm hoping for the market to flush a little bit here, although that's not, like, I think it's going up. I'm just hoping for a temporary flush, at least back to the 50 period, and then I think that will get us out of our Tesla, at least out of a third of it, which is what I'm trying to do, and then we'll move on from there. So yeah, good start of a position right now for me with Tesla. Let's just see where we go now with all of this. So that's my short, and then we just got out of a long. Well, we still have a small piece here, because I don't want to hold the Apple long when I have, so I almost have 3 times the shares on Tesla. So just to tell you, you know, what kind of positions I'm in here. Let's see if we can go downside here on Tesla. What do you want me to do? If you turn the stuffed animal bull to bear, your Tesla short will print. Okay, Nick.
That's really not how it works.
Well, I'm doing it anyways. So here we go. Let's see, Nick, if you are right about that. So let's put this into a bear and then see what happens. So this is on you, Nick.
I mean, if that works, then hey.
Well, hopefully the genius position will work. But
yeah,
if not,
it's like, no,
we'll take some more.
We have fun with the Magic 8-Ball too and everything and stuff like that. It's just obviously that's not, you know, we're not really sitting here making those decisions based on that. But like, I want to go to
this is to help the market.
Oh, we got to help the market.
The decision is made. So.
Yeah, the decision's already made. We're above that 4,000, so I'm not reloading on XPeng. I think it's starting to get to that lower high. It's been a good short, but if anything, maybe I should have trailed it at 825. I was giving that last little bit to VWAP, so I'm going to get out of it. Wind's starting to go. It looks like that's going to hold up through that high. I'm going to get some out in front of 79. I did have, and I should have said this originally, when we got the long this morning on Win, I did slap an 80 target on it. I ended up getting trailed out, but every time I got back in, I had been thinking 80 is that level that I want to look at for Win to get to. And this is just going back to the last time I rejected the 50. You go back here, it had a big rollover, lower high at that 80 level. So I'm looking for 80 on Win. If we do get out some in front of 79, 80 is definitely the level that I want the rest. Amazon can't make up its mind still, which is frustrating. I mean, look at this thing. It doesn't want to break this channel. If it breaks it up, I don't mind going long. I'm going to go long, but it's got to do something. Just sitting here in a 20-cent range, I don't think there's a need to force a trade. If this isn't going to break a 20-cent range, I'm not going to be the one to force it. NVIDIA, that is taking out the high. 163. It's like, why am I not just over at NVIDIA for the break? I had the last break at 61 and really thought I was going to get a chance at a dip buy. Instead, I'm now going to be looking for it to dip back into this 163 where it just broke out from. So, you know, I wish I could say I have it, but the only new position long has been Win for me, and I'm not reloading any of the shorts that I have. So I'm going to look for some of this maybe there's a chance. I almost said AMD. NVIDIA on dip to 163. I'll look over because I was watching Marvell as well as that was starting to go. It's also trying to break a bit of a top. Not as strong as NVIDIA, up 2.5%, but this just broke. There goes AMC, by the way. Why did I get long AMC? There's nothing against, by the way. Like, I just reversed into a long because last time I took profit, I didn't adjust my stop order. It's an accidental long. I'm just going to get out flat. I don't really want it. It might go up anyways. But back to Marvell, holding and breaking the 50 period as we speak. So that's a pretty significant level already. And then you look at this 43.50, it's being dragged up here by NVIDIA in the entire space. I really don't mind this one going long through that high of the day, give it about 25 cents back through. But the reason it caught my attention was, hey, it's also breaking that 50 period. If this closes above, I'm going to like this long next week on Marvell if it can hold. So, I mean, the chips have been leading the way. Might as well go back to the well for the things that have been carrying us throughout the day. I'm kicking myself. I should have, if I liked the 161 break on NVIDIA, I should have liked the 63 as well.
All right, let's go Wakanda forever and go long here on AMC. So if AMC breaks this 721, that's probably what we're going to do. We're just going to go long here off the high of the day for my first trade here on AMC. So let's see if it goes. It's going to automatically just fire it off when and if it goes into this position. We do have Wakanda Forever coming through. I could see a rally. There it is. Now we're long. I could see a rally into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if that comes out good. Although the only problem is you're up 17.5% right now. So we're just going to throw around some shares here, see what happens with AMC to the upside, and see if we can put this name to positive here today. Well, it's my first trade, so let's see if we can make a little bit of money on this. But what a great move it's been for AMC. Like I said, I've left it alone till now, and you know, I'm glad it sort of brought to my attention right in here. Let's see what we do with AMC for the rest of the day. Let's hold this long, guys. We'll fire off this one, and let's see what AMC does here. First target maybe 730 for a little bit, and then we'll see if it goes 750 and higher. We'll do some work on it, see where we're going to get out. Brendo.
A couple of the bigger individual decliners today, LMT, Lockheed Martin, and Eli Lilly. Here's LLY, down almost 5% on the day. Elon still has some work to do, I guess, is the moral of this story. An imposter Twitter account tweeting some stuff about free insulin, which has LLY downside today. They came out and said it was fake, not necessarily the case. Down here, LMT with a fake account with a Twitter blue check said we will begin halting all weapon sales to Saudi Arabia going forward. Also, the company came out and said that's fake news as well. So Elon still some work to do, I guess, over at Twitter, guys. But both of these, LLY and LMT, down on those tweets today.
I mean, it goes without saying. You gotta.
I don't think they're down anything. My opinion would be nothing to do with the tweets, of course, because
it's a rotation.
It's a rotation.
Yeah.
Like if anybody is selling something because someone put out a fake tweet.
Well, the algos are probably buying.
No, they're not. They're not doing anything. There's nothing to do with that tweet at
No,
all.
there's algos that are selling based on tweets.
Oh yeah, but not that tweet that happened yesterday at 4 p.m. or whatever.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking in a general sense. Like you have to be careful because you get volume spikes where they're scraping. But we were talking about this earlier. Like Eli Lilly's down today.
Oh yeah, I was going to show you guys McDonald's.
Pepsi's down today. McDonald's, like all the
J&J is down 3%. Dollarama's down.
Risk on, safety off. That's what's happening.
Banks are down. So. I mean, it's just.
Well,
anyways, that is the problem, though. I'm glad that Brendan brought that up because that is the problem with the new format. Is the
remember I was showing you that everything that was defensive was down, and I was like, oh, banks are down, but they're
Canadian
not all down.
Banks, it was.
Goldman's up, Morgan Stanley's up. The trading side of it, these names are strong today.
JP
like
Morgan's up. It's
JP.
I don't know why you showed me Canadian banks. What was up with that?
You know, it's like, look, because I have TD on my watch list because I own shares of TD. So I just looked at the one and was like, oh, banks are down a little bit today. But I didn't really do enough diligence. Then I saw Morgan's up, Goldman breaking out, JP Morgan's strong. So there is a bit of a rotation, but it feels like, but it's not really affecting a lot of the U.S. banks. They're incredibly strong. But it is about things like Pepsi, which is still. They always trick me because it's a New York stock. It's a NASDAQ stock. I type New York every single time. But that's down 2.5%. I mean, the chart looks gorgeous still, the daily. It's a secure name. If it pulls back too far, I'm probably going to be on the bid of this thing. But at the end of the day, I think you just have risk on, and then some of these are all pulling back here. That's just money rotating. We see this happen time and time again. So nothing different. Come on, Amazon. This is it. You better do it. I want you breaking. Here's that top. It's getting up to the high again, and I'm looking for this top break on Amazon. But at some point, I got to stop watching this and then get over to something else. Win is one trade I'm into. Marvell's really close to breaking the top as well. I'll probably have both these breakouts if they happen.
Yeah, I don't. What's up, Crypto Polo? What's up, my man? I trade everything, so it doesn't matter what I'm looking at. So we can look at Zila here for sure. I'm just staying in the lane. We don't have any negative. We don't have any. Well, We don't have any negative months. We don't have any negative days this month, is what I'm saying right now. But there's Zila. Wow, yeah, I don't know. This is more of a call to Brendan. I mean, the volume's picking up here in the last little while. Maybe it's breaking out. Honestly, when I looked at this, it was like, wow, when you just put it in the chat, I didn't even realize this was so far beat down. And it was even more than that over the last little while there. Zila, wow, like, again, just puking to the downside. So I'm just going to say something like XL Fleet, again, another name that's up 30% today as well. Very, very similar charts to a lot of these names. Just down, down, down. Got some nice relief yesterday on a lot of these moves. There's XL Fleet to the upside. I know PaySafe reported, but that's another name there that's up pretty. Oops, I guess it's a New York name. That's up pretty good today as well, up to 150 today for PaySafe, and that's still climbing higher right now, up 15%. So a lot of the names that sort of look like this are looking like that right now. So, I mean, other Shopify, I mean, there's so many names. You don't just have to look at small cap names. So unless there's something on Zila, Brendan just put it in our chat there, no news. So no news is good news, I guess, but I'd rather see this move. Oop, that's still showing. Still showing PaySafe. I'd rather see this move on news, because if this is just on a 10% bump up, excuse me, in the NASDAQ, then yeah, I think it does come back down. So I'd watch out for Zila right there. And just to look at it on a 20-minute chart, you're nowhere near anywhere where we sort of been. So this to me looks like a topping tail, but that's where we're at now, 29. So I'd say if we don't take 29 today, then you're probably back down here on Monday, Tuesday. But I don't, again, I'm not sure. There it is right there. Just loaded up. So again, not rocket science, 29s and 30s, even pennies, things like that tend to be highs on these kind of names. So I'd watch out for Zila. Thank you so much, Crypto something, for that as well. Okay, what has worked out a little bit is just holding on to Tesla. Let's see what it does now. I mean, we would have got our 196.50s. We don't have it, but here it comes. Let's see if it can drop down to the downside a little bit here for Tesla. So, ooh, that's changed. All right, I'm just noticing that now. I'm going to put a bid out, see if we can get something there at 70. We just put it out and it ran away a little bit. Didn't notice that that's all the way there right now. So that tail just tailed it out to 72. Damn it. Come on, give it. Oh, we're at 72, right? Oh, we're at 72. Did you guys see where that stopped? 72. So let's see if it comes back down to the downside. I said I'd wait for 50s on this play, but I didn't even realize that the 50 period had come up there. So let's go to the downside right now and see if we can't get a bid here for this name and just get out of this right here. So there it is. I got 80s there. So I just punched out for 80. Don't want to wait for that. So far, so good. As someone said, why is this a bear when it's a bull market? And Nick said, if I turn this around, then Tesla will go down. The market is not going down, because look at our Apple trade. That's still 70 cents in the money. So look what we have on board right now. Hey, you want to be with me? Great. We're 70 cents in the money on Apple. We're 70 cents in the money on Tesla. Looking for more here. And we are a whopping, let's go apes. Let's go apes. We're up a whopping 5 cents right now, as this just went to 28. We are at 30 there. Let's see if AMC continues to go to the upside as well. We're putting on some trades for you here. Let's see if we can't make a little more money than this, though. Come on. Yes, yes. There's Tesla. Come on, let's go. More downside for this one. This is a great day, great week, great everything, man. Wow, let's go, man. Kiss the babies. Call this one a night. Get to the downside right now, Tesla.
Yeah, a couple of names starting to come back in. Oh, a bit of a channel break on, at least attempted channel break on Amazon, but one that just happened on Snapchat. I haven't talked Snapchat. I know the midday guys were all over this. Well, at least I think Prad was talking about Snapchat. Super strong, but it gets to that 10% mark, and you get to the highs here. The market starts to reverse. It's just a risk-reward type of proposition. Here's your daily chart. This is $12 on Snapchat on the daily. So when I see it get to a level like that and double tap it, I'm always going to look for the risk reward off that high. So I am on the offer. I actually didn't get that Snapchat. Now that I look at it, we're able to get some Amazon. As it tried to break the bottom of the channel, my out's pretty easy on Amazon. I still like that 101.20, but I don't want to play Snapchat off of that high of the day, see if it wants to go. Win-win in the money for me, but like I was sort of talking about earlier, like risk to reward it has to make sense, your trades, risk to reward, right? So I'm looking for that 79 area, and there's no way I'm going to take along at like 78.50, try to be playing it back to support here, and then get out for like 25 pennies, right? Because if you do that, right? The time it works, okay, right. When it works, it doesn't matter. Like, you make money, right? It goes up there, maybe you get it all out, you get half those, it's fine. But when it doesn't work, I mean, you're what are you doing? Like half, you're essentially making not 2 to 1, but you're making like 50 cents to your dollar loss, whatever it works out to be, 25 to 50 here. And then your win rate just has to be pretty astronomical in my regard. So I really don't like that play. So I'm only going to be waiting for it to break out that high. It needs to make an actual big move for me to get excited about it here. XPeng, no reload for me over there. Not going to happen. Marvell, you got to be kidding me. I mean, I'm sitting there, look, this thing's about to go. The market's pulling back and Marvell is barely dipping. So I like that as a bit of a sign, but at some point it's going to have to break to that upside for me to get into it. And NVIDIA, right back into this 163. So I've been patiently looking for it to pull back into the breakout price. If it doesn't hold 63s, I don't mind going back into that 161 area. I don't want to be fighting anything that's this big of a trend, unless, like I said on Snapchat, it gets to a very significant price level, which is where Snap is at. And again, right off that 12 level, double tapped it. I'm not going to chase this too far. I'm sitting right here. I think it's 77. You know what? I can be on 75. That's not that big of a difference. I'll move to 75, see if I can catch that fill. Another one which is really setting up for a bit of a turn, Roblox. I know it'll seem random when you look at it. Why would it be turning at 37 even? I kind of know, because this is where I was looking for it on disaster day. I did miss this short. It is what it is. It happens to you. I was waiting for a rejection at 37. It slammed $1 down on me, and then I just was not able to get into position. This time, I don't think I'll have that trouble. There's your rejection at 37. So risk to reward is setting me up for some of these shorts. But again, if you take out these highs of the day, I got no problem getting out at that top. But just got Amazon, just got Snap, and now let's look at a little Roblox. If it takes out 37, we're out of dodge. But the market pulling back in here, Brendo.
There's a note. But Meta heads up. FCC Commissioner Carr once again doubling down on the whole banning TikTok idea. Downside right now, as we saw there for this one, but yeah, looks like some more comments in that regard, guys.
There you go. We've seen that go back and forth with that TikTok news, and you have to pay attention to it. But I'm just going to get my stop locked and loaded, or adjusted, I should say, on Amazon, because if I do like this thing breaking out through the high of the day, then I have to make sure, because we can reverse from short to long in one order. It's going in the other direction here at Day Trade the World. Like, you got to fire a separate order. One's coded a sell, the other one sends to the market as a short sell. So reversing the other direction, a bit of a problem, but it's a pretty easy thing to do in the other way. So I'm just adjusting my stop on Amazon to reflect that. I don't want to take anything out till it gets down to that 60 level. Like, get to that 160 cents or so, and then after that, I'm looking for that 100 even on Amazon. So it's just about management. I think one of the things about trading off of key price levels is if you have your out, you can kind of set it and forget it, and then it just becomes either profit management, risk management, if you want to be adjusting your orders. Like, if the market takes out a fresh high, let's say, and you're still in your short, and you're like, yeah, it hasn't broken my stop yet, but the market's going absolutely nuts. Well, one of the options I always find you have in that situation is to just relieve some of the pressure, like take a little bit of it out in that particular case. So I'm actually going to get on the bid here. Snap's already given you a push down. If it gets to 50, I definitely want to have about half of it out, and the other half if it can somehow get to VWAP. Remember NVIDIA? I got two longs. It's Win and NVIDIA, but bought the dip. I'm on the 15-minute. That sucks for you guys. So I'm on the dip at that 163 in NVIDIA. As simple as previous breakout, goes $1, pulls back $1, bid in front of it. I got 17s here, but as it goes halfway up, I might as well start grabbing a little bit of profit here because the market has rejected that high and is pulling back in. So yes, I like to dip buy. I've identified NVIDIA as a name that I want to that long side. But as it goes to the high of the day, I'm going to take some profit out and then make sure we can just give a little bit of a, I always keep saying Gronk spike, but I don't like Gronk. So we'll give it a bit of a spike. We'll give it a Case Keenum spike. I mean, the breakout, if it breaks 164 and goes to 165, then it's a Josh Allen spike. But I'm about to be the biggest Case Keenum fan that you guys have ever seen if Josh Allen doesn't go. I really want the Vikings to lose. I have a very good friend who's a gigantic Vikings fan. So Bills and Vikings both being good and then having a monster game is kind of a big deal for the two of us. We don't really have any side bets or anything, but he's going to talk a serious amount of trash. I'm going to get probably 100 texts if the Bills lose, and he's just going to be stringing them in. It's that Dan Ioza. You know who he is.
Yeah, I know who he is. Yeah,
and he's a pretty witty guy. So, like, if this guy starts cracking on you, like, you're just going to lose. Like, the guy's basically a stand-up comedian. But I need my Bills to come through for me here because it's a monster game, and without the best player in the league, it could be some trouble for us. Yeah, I said he's best player in the league.
I would say there's going to be lots of trouble for the Bills. I feel like, and I just want to tell you something, I feel like this is going to be one of the most disappointing seasons ever for the Buffalo Bills. And I'll tell you why. Because there's so much. I'll tell you why. Because what are you expecting to happen this year?
Ship.
Exactly. So that's the problem. I just think expectations are so high. I think that they're the favorite for a reason. I mean,
going to Disneyland.
Their team is amazing. It's just like that's the thing. I wonder about expectations because Josh Allen still makes mistakes. And I mean, in the play, that's why Kirk Cousins. And the reason why I thought about that is because of Kirk Cousins. The guy's won. He's 1-8 in primetime games or something. Or worse than that, actually. But they're playing amazing. I mean, they are. That should be the game of the week. So
tell me you saw the clip of this guy on the plane.
I did, yeah. I mean, tell me you saw the clip of Adam Schefter pretending to be him.
Yes, but if you don't love Kirk Cousins, A, because he went to Michigan State, but B, just because of how much fun that guy has. Like, it's just, he's loose, he's on the plane, he's got the chain, shirt off, flossing it off after the victory.
Van Hammer engaged.
I love the guy. But at the end of the day, I hope he loses like an absolute chump and chokes like he always does. So
yeah, he will.
We'll see what happens.
He got you. Don't worry. He got you. Okay, so I came back here right now, only to realize, of course, that we missed our out by 2 pennies there, or part of our out on AMC. We're still here for the long run, though, on advanced micro devices on AMC Entertainment. So we're going to watch out for that. Again, 195.40 is where we went down to for Tesla, so my 195.50 would have filled. Instead, we took an 80 print right there. We're still holding out for 197, and that reminds me, I'm going to change my, not my stop, but I'm going to change, oops, I'm going to push cancel on that. I'm going to change the amount of shares because we got out of 1/3 there, like we always talk about. So let's just do that, edit our order, and move on from that. So, all right, that's that. Just a quick check-in as one of the names that just continues to work. We'll go O Canada because it's Remembrance Day here and Veterans Day over in the U.S. So mad respect out there to all the families and everything that have put up.
It's an important distinction
with so much. Yeah. What's going on with that?
Well, I think it's interesting because for Americans, I know there's a distinction between Veterans Day and Memorial Day.
Right? That's right. I misspoke the first time.
No, you got it right. Memorial Day is it's obviously to talk about fallen heroes, and Veterans Day is support your veterans who are alive. But for us, Remembrance Day is kind of more like Memorial Day. So we'll be saying and I get it, it's an important distinction here. Today is really about honoring those that have fallen, where I understand in the U.S. it's really about the veterans that are current. Look, at the end of the day, you just support them all. It's a simple thing, but there is a bit of a distinction.
Off cannons. We're right near Queen's Park.
Yeah, so they're doing their thing.
They're doing their damn thing.
It's a small difference between Canada and the U.S. on this day, but I'm glad it's a holiday on both sides, as it absolutely should be. It's a bit of a bank holiday. Well, it's a bank holiday.
It's only a bank holiday.
It's a bank holiday, but it's a big deal in the schools. I know the kids, they wore the poppies. I got my red on, locked and loaded.
My kids had an assembly today.
Yeah, that's right. Well, my daughter's not in school today, obviously, but I'm sure they would have still had that. Come on, South Side on some things and longs and others, if that even makes any sense. Oh, I did get a bit of a register win there on when as that got back to the high of the day. It did take some out on NVIDIA, but Amazon now breaking channel, looking like it's coming into the downside. So I'm kind of rooting for Amazon to hold off these highs. And the best thing about some of these tops is, okay, well, if you follow through, I could see 100 on Amazon. It makes perfect sense to me. And then Marvell, if the market wants to keep going, I'm basically risking to 43.60, maybe a couple of shekels below here, so call it 15 cents worth of risk. That allows me to get something out, or at least look for that 44 level to the top side on Marvell. But I have to respect that if we break channel back into the downside, I'm probably going to get out of both NVIDIA, which this can't lose at this point, because I did scalp some out, and I'm not going to give it past 163 even. But both those are buys off the highs of the day. So I'm not going to give them all the way back into VWAP or give it $2 back in. That doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense to me. So NVIDIA, Marvell to the long side. I do still have, I did also add that Roblox. It hasn't really done much off that 37 just yet. You'll see Roblox went in the money, 10 cents? Went in the money about 10 cents, but the top is here at 36.87. I'm short 20 pennies off of that high, so it goes 10 cents, really not that big of a move. It needs to really break this 38.60 or 36.60 to the downside, but a lot of room for it to come down. Just understand, I'm not letting these things through these highs of the day.
Okay, so just quickly here, new trade alert. We just took Coinbase as it breaks through 57. So now we're long 57.05. We got one piece out there at 15 at the high of the day there for 10 cents. It just literally happened. We roboted that one in and out, boom, 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 like that quickly. But we're still obviously in this name. So let's see what happens now if Coinbase can take out the top again. It's up that 12%. We said we want to go long here. There it is right there. It just took out the high of the day. We found that name. Let's just see if it goes. Breaking through 57. I don't really have too much of a target on this play right now for me, so I don't know. Yeah, just trying to see, like, if we're right, and it's going to go up. That's really not what I'm worried about. So I don't even want to look at the high side of this. I want to look at the low side to see if we're wrong, where we're wrong. So that just, the thing is, liquidity is pretty sketchy on this. So I'm not 100% sure what we're going to do with it. But there it is, a nice little move back up to the upside again. We'll see if we can take some out at 20 here if it does rip up and get that fill. There it is. So we take another out there on Coinbase. So far, so good on that one as that's starting to go upside right now. Coinbase, because we just took, well, that was only 15 pennies actually. I keep thinking we're long at 57, but we're long at 57.05, so we just took a 20 out there. That top is 95. I mean, I want to give it more than that. Let's zoom in a little bit more. I mean, now that we've taken a piece out, like, let's give this back to 56.50. All right, so now we need to get at least 50 cents on part of this. We still have shares, so we can just keep on repeating this over and over again. But let's wait. Let's wait now. So let's give this back to 56.50. Falls down, it falls down, man, and that's what that is. But we're gonna wait for that now. We just took another piece out right there at one at 15, one at 20. New position for Coinbase, taking out that top. But of course, as soon as I do that, you know, you can see the market pulling back right now a little bit. So we'll hold out on that one. Apple just bounced off 150 again. We're long at 149. So I feel like taking $1 makes a lot of sense there because we do have that take on Tesla as well, right? So let's just get out of some Apple. It's 3 o'clock right now. We are about to take out that 50 period. It would be bad if this doesn't work out for me and we get out of some Apple, but you know what? We're fine. Like, I'm fine with this position. I don't want it to drift down here and then I have to make a decision and then I've given up 50 cents when I've already seen a clean wick, that top there at 150.13. So Apple's still trying to work. Nice pullback down here. Should I just take this out again and then just hold out to see if we get a nice little move here? I'm going to put a bid down here at 30s or so for Tesla. If that comes in, then great. We'll take that. I just don't want to miss that again. So we'll take out another bid down there for Tesla. And then watching Apple, I think we'll just see if Apple wants to take 150 again. So we'll see if that's going to go through, Apple 150. But that does look pretty juicy right there to get some out. So yeah, kind of torn on what to do here. The NASDAQ's going to take that 50 period, it looks like, but maybe it doesn't. I mean, we tested it there, went up, tested it there, went up. Maybe here again, it happens again. So let's just chill out on that. Neil with a hot mic.
Sorry. Before I know we're going to Brendan in a quick second, but someone asked, how do you manage so many positions? There's no area stops on anything. Right now, everything is like clean, line in the sand, like high of day is a hard stop. I just got some of Amazon out, but to go back to like Marvell, not getting cute about it, my stop is right here in front of consolidation. So I'm looking at the trends, and I'm long a couple of chip names because I feel like they've been pretty solid. But ultimately, if we do break down, then I'll be stopped out of the longs on tight stops and holding on to the pieces of the shorts that we have, and then vice versa. So that's the overall overarching strategy, for lack of a better term there. As we go to Brendo, what do you got, bud?
Just watching Meta, guys. Apparently Zuckerberg just saying, quote unquote, he is not planning on growing the metaverse team, I guess, over the next coming years in any significant way. So we learned about the job cuts earlier in the week. Now he's saying that the metaverse specific team is not going to grow significantly over the next coming years.
All right. I mean, that makes sense. That's kind of what we're looking for there. All right. I'm just going to exit Apple. So I'm just going to get out of Apple. I feel like the market is going to go to the downside. We now have a nice 70-cent winner on Tesla as that's starting to push downside as well there. So let's just get out of our Apple. We'll end the trade with a bang. It's a big trade for me today. Apple is my third. No, first, actually, the stock I made the most money on today is Alibaba. Then it's going to be It's Baba, Meta, Apple right now. So again, all names pretty much over there on the stick. You know, we're out of Apple, but you know what's making an appearance in the damn building right now? Let's go. We're barbecuing up the profits again. Your boy here on Tesla, right back down to 195. Let's just take a piece out. It just bounced off of it. We'll put a bid out here. Maybe we get something down low. The market's trying to break a little bit there. There is the break in the market. Here's the break in Tesla. It just touched down to 13. Even if it goes back up here, I'm still happy with this call. So far, so good. We could get out now. You do whatever you guys want. So far, so good. Another dollar winner. So that's what I've brought in so far today, man. Couple dollar winners on the board right now. As it's the market's still falling down. Looks like Tesla might have stopped there. I hate those bottom wicks, man. I hate those bottom wicks. So let's just, we missed out on that. That's too bad. All right, let's put something else out. See if we get filled on that one. Coinbase is dropping as obviously as this market's coming in a little bit here. So let's take a little bit out on Coinbase as well. Tesla, did we just get filled? No, we did not. We're bidding 32s. It just stopped at 32 again. But one push down and just runs us over because who cares? There it is. Yes, sir. Another dollar win there on Tesla, out right there. So a couple good trades for us. As you notice, we put on more shares there than we had there. So far, so good. Let's see if it continues down to the downside. Looks like our Apple out was a good one as well. Apple right back down in to a level where we'd be thinking about a long. But we're, like I said, we're up more money today than we were yesterday. That's good. I think we've done a great job explaining the positions that I've had on board today. So that's also pretty good. And down goes the market right now. Good outs for us all over the place. This name, though, AMC, not really doing too much. We don't have a very big position. Looking to get a little bit more long here at 11 or 12. As there it goes, man. Look at that Tesla trade. Chicken dinner winner. I didn't mean to hit that one. I meant to hit the bang one. There it goes to the downside. More pressure. Not only that, not only am I happy with where Tesla's going, I'm really happy that we pulled the trigger on this one, man. We definitely got out of that Apple trade just in the nick of time as it just falls down, because I'd be right now saying, oh my God, what have I done? I should have got out there, but we did. So cash money on that. Down goes Tesla. Your boy is in the building.
Yeah, definitely a good idea to get out of some. Even the strongest stocks just rolled over. Like Nvidia is now down like $1 for my out on that long. Somehow Win's holding up, but sometimes you put these into buckets. Like the travel names might not be moving as much here, but either way, it's somehow managing to hold. I don't know how much longer it's going to hold up there. All the shorts that we had on are still working. I got one leg out on Amazon. It's head down to 100, so the 101 did eventually break into the downside. I kind of hope Luca had that one eventually. I know he was all over that level. Roblox as well starting to roll over. Just got the first out 36.5 as it continues to fall. And then Snapchat was the other one. Made the first breakdown to 1160. If this one goes to VWAP, I'd be a little bit surprised. But now that I see Meta starting to come back in here, I don't wonder if that drags it a little bit further down in. So I wasn't really... Like at first, I was going to be getting almost everything out in front of 1150 here, but I'll give it a chance to fall further than that because Meta, like as Brendan just brought that news, like Meta's really starting to accelerate a little bit further, and maybe it can drag Snapchat with it. So I'm going to give Snapchat a little bit more room. As I said, the one long that is somehow still holding up here, and again, this is a high of the day break as well. It hasn't broken past. It's 78.45. You can see here. I'm like 2 pennies below that for a stop. It got back to the high of the day, took some out. And then if it just breaks, kind of like NVIDIA, if we do break back down, I'm not necessarily shorting this, but yeah, got the shorts on already. But I do want to get out. Don't want to turn any of the winning trades into losers. I think the stock is still on a breakout in the long term. So there is always a chance next week, as much as, yeah, I'm going to give it up here. As long as this is above 74, 75, even if it pulls back in, I am going to be looking for a continuation of this move next week in Win. Maybe it needs that consolidation and pullback. That's a healthy thing. Some profit taking gives you a chance to reload and get back to the trend next week.
All right, like I said, man, we're not here for pennies. We're here for dollars, and we're now $2 in the money for Tesla, and that's probably I don't know, just the momentum there that the market just took out some of those levels. I mean, we could go for a little bit more of a dip than this as well. So I don't even really want to get, normally I would, if this wasn't 308 and we weren't in the power hour right now, I feel like we could probably still be in this name, or sorry, that I would probably get out right now because we're bouncing off those levels a little bit. But because we are in power hour and I feel like there's more room to go here a little bit, let's hold. Let's hold. So maybe we do break it down. There it is, man. Now we're 220 in the money right now for that one. There it is. Wow. Good call, man. Good call for Nick, man. We turned that bear around. There it goes. Right down to the downside. But like Neil said, man, you got to put the trade on first. And we gave that one to you right there. 196. And we're short 196.35 right there. Oh, there goes our Coinbase downside there. We got out of a little bit. Well, we got out of more than... It was about 40% right there, out of 60% as it takes down 50. Downside move for Coinbase, so that one falls down. But almost irrelevant as I sit here and watch what Tesla's doing. So that's good. We did average back in on AMC, but I don't know. Our average price now is 10. So let's go. Like, this is kind of what we wanted to do. Our average price is right down here. Let's see if it breaks 7. If it breaks 7, you know what I'm going to do with that trade. So it's just hilarious that we lose on Coinbase there. We bank out on Apple. Like, that was huge right there. And we're still going to finish. Even if I get out of this, we should still be very, very close to our high of the day. So yeah, man, good day so far today. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. We're having a hell of a lot of fun. Hit the like button if you can as this market continues its slide to the downside. We are now $2.50 in the money on Tesla as there she blows to the downside. Let's go.
Yes, sir. And pretty much, I'd say to the second, like when Coinbase came out, that's when my last long came out as well. Like when Win trailed me out there at break even, or actually 5 cents below break even, did give it a little bit of slippage there. Intel, someone just asked in the chat, like, where's Intel going? Are you going to shorting it again with the market coming back in? I'm sitting Intel out for the rest of the day today, right? Like, it's probably been, I'd say, the gift horse for me in terms of reading it, but it's breaking the trend. Like, I was essentially just going short every single short setup that I could find the last couple of, I don't want to say weeks because it's been longer than that, but now you're really starting to break out. So there's nothing wrong with moving on to something else. And that's really just been going back over to NVIDIA, trying some Marvell. I'll probably look at some Micron. This one I'm going to try to stay away from. I want to see it establish something to give me that long trend. I just took my Amazon out at 100. And I'm going to ring the register on this. However, there's a chance that we fall further to the downside. But I've seen this put in higher lows. My thesis was like, I like the long in Amazon. So when I get that pullback, I'll take it and run. I think Snapchat and Roblox are a little more overextended than Amazon right now, so I don't mind hanging on to these two. If we go further to the downside, congratulations if you hold on longer. Maybe you do get into VWAP, but that's actually checked up a couple of times. Both at like 150, in the previously 100's been a level a couple of times today, and then even if it gets to 99.60, it might find a little bit of support there. So I will hang on to some shorts, just not this one. Meta continues to fall, so I believe Snapchat is going to have that chance to maybe get into VWAP. I'm kind of on the bid at 61, and it's at 62. I'll get the next fill in a second here, and then hopefully. And then down in front of 50s as well. This, Snapchat, Roblox. There's another name out there that I kind of keep forgetting about you. And if I don't at least look at Block next week, then somebody should yell at me because I'm kicking myself over this. Everything I would want for this breaking, there's a 50-period break. There's a consolidation break at like 65.5 when it took out a recent high. You just got to be all over those. And really, when it does that, so now it's in breakout territory, you're hunting for long breaks. It gave you this, taking out yesterday's top, and I really didn't have it on my radar, but I'm setting some alerts for this if it pulls back into 68 next week. I don't know if a top break's going to work here today because the market's pulling back in, but Snap is definitely on my radar. So massage your shorts, start taking some profit, make sure you pay yourself. We could easily bounce off. I mean, some of these stocks will be VWAP, but what I'm looking at the ES here, previous high, breakout 39.9, get through 4,000, you could easily just hold this and then retrace back into that high of the day. If you like your shorts, you can reload them, but this is why I take some profit out, because you haven't continued unless you break this channel here. It's essentially been break 4,000, go 10 handles, break 4,000 back down, go 10 handles. Still a 20 handle range. That's not very big on the ES. So take something out for profit on the way. Even if it goes further, just hang on to a bit.
Yeah, we got out of AMC and just got back in. So we're going to see if it does want to go back up to the upside a little bit here. We just punched into some more longs at 02 there. Excuse me, just to see what we're going to do with that trade for 02. Thank you so much to everybody for the super chats and for the likes and for everything, man. We're really excited to be here with you guys one more time today. So, yeah, this is going to be it. So, can't believe it's 3:13. I feel like it's later than that right now. So we got to find some more trades. I thought it was later. So maybe we should. You know, that's, wow, that really made that move down, eh? So, yeah, the market's breaking lower. We're below the 50 period now, well below. So I feel like there could be some decent longs that come into play here, but I'd rather try to play short. One name that we need to look at a little bit more, I feel like, would be Disney. We haven't really looked at that at all. So let's just see what happens with Disney now. I was looking to go short on Disney today if and when the market does start to break lower. Looks like right now, obviously, Disney did have that top. Wow, what a good day for Disney. Wow. Some of these names just keep on chugging along here. Pretty impressive if you are long anything here and able to hold on to it. But now it looks like some of the airs coming out. Still up 1.4%. What's up, Brendo?
Just going through a relative strength list here, and these popped up. Banks, specifically, market trying to break downside. These have been pretty weak all day, guys. 1% here for Wells Fargo coming into day lows as the market ticks back below 4,000 here.
Yeah, like you have to separate the groups because like the trading end side, like those have been, like the investment banks have been good today. And then it's like your regular, it's sort of like your regular, TDs down. Wells, I haven't checked BAC. I'm going to assume that they are as well, but the deposit end hasn't been that fantastic. I just finally got that Snapchat fill, so we'll ring the next register for that. And someone asked, I know I said like 10 handles up, 10 handles down on the futures. So like stocks trade in penny increments on the futures. I explained this in the chat, but if you don't understand, if you might have missed that, the futures markets trade in quarter ticks. So when they're at 4,000 on the ES, it trades 399, 75, 50, 25. Each full 4 ticks is called a handle. I actually don't know where that came from, so I don't know the history of that. I just know that that's what it's called. So if I say 10 handles, that's just, it's essentially 40 ticks on the ES or the NASDAQ. Could be the NQ futures that I'm talking about as well. So there's no such thing as a bad question. Like we'll throw things out there that make sense to us. And if it's coming a little too fast, it's because we're experienced knowing what we're doing, but we're talking as traders. And a lot of times I'll say something, and if it doesn't make sense to you guys, please just ask for clarification. I have no issues with that. Meta's trying to bounce off VWAP here. So if I see it make a strong move to the upside, I'll probably take some more Snapchat off. I'm watching Meta now, not to trade it, but because I'm in Snap. If Meta makes a big retracement back up, I do want to take some more profit on some Snapchat to be sure. And I keep seeing people talk about Moderna. And I always say, like, you got to make trades, not calls. And that's been true for me on Moderna, at least the last couple of sessions, because it's made some highs pretty much exactly where I'm anticipating that it will, and then I'm just not actually making the trades very well on this. But this is still above the breakout from the afternoon. Like, it's above that 170 mark where the shorts had been so good. So until this takes that out, I'd be a little careful with this. If you're short in the money, great. Like, it's giving you $2 on a pullback here. But if it holds that 170, that's essentially its breakout price in a significant level. So as the futures are at that pullback, you might want to have some caution. That's why we always say pay yourself out, because if this pullback reverses and you just caught a great $2 move on Moderna on a relatively strong stock and you didn't take it, it comes all the way to break even. Like, that sucks because you made a good call on a good trade, but if you didn't get anything out, well, then you didn't get paid off on that good call. That's why you see us take profit on the way down. But Moderna, definitely a good trade off that high. Just be careful with that 170 mark. It's a pretty key price.
All right, we have a new trade on right now. We're just going to let our Tesla try to work itself out right now. We have AMD on board, so we're just going to short AMD here. You're below the 200 period. We're going to use that as our out. Let's just see if it wants to work to the downside. We're short 28s right now. As per usual, we always put out, this time it'll be like 5% or so at 18 or so. This is just scalping, right? I mean, we're going to take a little bit out, but then we are going to try to hold this a little bit as the NASDAQ is breaking lower. Make this over there a little bit. So we're going to average up into that level. This, again, more shares are going to come on board here once we get back up into the 40s and 50s for AMD. So right now we're going to try the short. It's a huge stock, man. It's been a monster these last couple days. So definitely aware. Like, I'm getting a little bit exhausted. I mean, this is the end of the week here. It's Friday. We put in a big week for you guys all week here. And we're just trying to end it off with some bang trades. So we've already got $3 in the money. I mean, what else are we supposed to do? We have $3 in the money on Tesla right now as that's starting to go to the downside. We messed around with AMC. That didn't do anything, man. That's just bouncing around $7. We're gonna leave that alone, AMC. But we're gonna trade AMD, and we're gonna try to trade that to the downside right now. We were long earlier. We let it go, which is unbelievable. So I'm a little bit perturbed about that position, but let's just see if we go back down to the downside right now, and hopefully, like we just ticked down at 19, like we were at 18, but let's see if it can go down more here for AMD. And again, it's just a play on the NASDAQ. If the NASDAQ retraces back up, then we will lose on this. But let's see if there is some profit taking into the weekend here. It's been a monster day. I don't know what the biggest two-day total is, but again, you go from 7.4 yesterday to 1.5, and I think at one point we're up 2% there. That's a big move. So here comes AMD right back up. This is not a day maker, killer, or anything like that. We're just going to see if we can get a little bit of trade in here to take the short and run it to at least 72 and then 71.80. So it's just an idea. If you like it, hop on board with me. I just want to see if AMD does give a little bit back below the 50 period, below the 200 period. NASDAQ below as well, starting to bump up. Only thing that we regret is maybe we started this trade a little bit too early. So let's just see. Willing to hold everything all the way back up. So if it makes money, it makes money. If it loses, it loses. I do expect a little bit of a sell-off here into the close. So let's see if that happens. So far, so good on that idea. But hey, you know, the day is still relatively young. It's only 3:20. Like, that's 30 minutes until those imbalances come out. Lots of stuff can happen. I mean, AMD just dropped $1 in a couple minutes there, right? So AMD just dropped $1 in about 15 minutes. So if that continues, I think we're on the right side here, but we're going to have to average into this position.
Yeah, and I see some people talking about DWAC here. This is one name that I know I'm looking for short opportunities, and I kind of want to hold these, hopefully, into the imbalances or as close into the close as possible. But this is one I think I'm going to stay away from. Someone said it's got a huge short interest. I think it's more like 13%, at least when I check it. That's the short interest. But it's riding the high of the day, and it's at that 25 level that I think if you were going to take this the first time it got there, that made some sense to me. But I'm just going to stay away. I usually want to get a short in one particular way. Parabolic move up into a resistance or a key level, and then fade off of that. When it's just gliding like this, it's not overbought enough for, and I did pay for locates today. I never actually got the short, but yeah, I wouldn't be shorting this 25. I'm not going to be shorting that 25 level. It doesn't make any sense to me. And there was just a discussion in the chat that confused me because someone was like, it's VWAP, not VWAP, and it was the spelling they were talking about. And I'm like, it's VWAP. I know it's volume weighted average price, but someone was like, it's VWAP. We pronounce things right or wrong all the time here, so you actually got me for a second, because then I was thinking I was pronouncing VWAP incorrectly for like the last 1,000,000 years, which I know it's not true, but I've been wrong before. I used to say NIO for, like, trust me, I was saying NIO a lot, and it took a long time for me to correct that one. It is what it is. We're just traders here, and sometimes I like to go by the symbol. And just one more move here. On Roblox, I'm not looking for reloads at the high of the day on a lot of these names. If you get back up to the top, as far as I'm concerned, that's a little bit too bullish, right? My stop is in place. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have to adjust it here on Roblox. I'm not going to be reloading this off the high of the day. I said if we got a bit of a bounce there on Meta, that I was going to try and get more shares out, just kind of where it lies in the money on Snapchat. So there's a pretty significant bounce of $1 on Meta. You know, Snapchat's not going to move $1, but I'll just take another leg out here inside of this consolidation on Snapchat just to trim. Market's bouncing up a little bit. What I feel could be a bit of a leader for Snapchat, being Meta, is making a strong push back into the upside, so I can take some more profit on this. Still want it to go down to 1150. Still want to be able to get some at VWAP if it pulls down here to like 1135 or so. So I want to hang on to that short, but just relieve some of that pressure as I see a dollar bounce on Meta. Might see the same kind of thing happen in Snapchat, so just be prepared for it.
All right, so we got loaded up there on AMD, so let's see where we're gonna ride to now, guys. It did pull back down, we got out some 45s there, but let's go. Now we're trying to go upside. We do have our target out, just to review what that is. Breaking through, I mean, right now the 200 period sort of right here, which is 65, so that's gonna be, we'll give it a couple more pennies to the upside, but look at this market. Just doing the opposite of what I was thinking it was going to do. We could, remember what I was saying, we could retrace to that 50 period and then fall. So maybe we're in a little bit too early, obviously, on AMD. But again, to have that crystal ball to know the exact ins and outs, that would be fantastic. Let me know if and when you guys get your hands on those, because that's worth a lot right there. More than the NFTs that I own, that's for sure. Let's see if it comes back down into the downside right now. So here it comes. I'm going to take a little bit out. We're short at 50, so we'll take a little bit out there at 45. Now hopefully it falls back down. We have this trade on board. It's going to have to retrace a little bit more than this, obviously, to make it worth it. But we do put the majority of the shares on. We told you that we wanted it closer to the 200 period. So as it falls back down, we do have this. Let's go. Let's go right now. Bang for that one. Nice little trade here to go for us on AMD. So there it is, man. Trying to end the day at our highest spot right now. It's 20-cent winner on for AMD right now. Let's see if it comes back into the bottom side here for this. A nice little retracement in the market, but there's AMD short, just trying to pay off right now. Down into 54 right now. That's what we're short at, 54. We just covered some at 38 right there. Hopefully with 37s, hopefully we can get a little bit more down to the downside here. Tesla, I don't know, man. Like, part of me is saying, like, I know we're short up here. That's good, and I want to be short. It's just like, what if we do retrace back and take that out? I don't want to get double burned here from Tesla and from AMD. So, yeah, debating it. I mean, we trade our own book here, so that's for sure. 195. 195 means I'm giving up. I'm short here. 196. That's still a $1.50 win. Yeah, 195. Yeah, you know what? Let's take it. I mean, if you break up above 195, hopefully at that point, the 50 period will be much more, lower than that. And at 195, we probably shouldn't get there. The 50 period is continuing to come down. That's 194.80. We're already below the 200 period right now. But yeah, we are getting a little bit nervous. I'm almost thinking about a break right there. What is that? Let's just use 195. If 195 breaks, we'll get out, man. I got to manage this AMD trade as well. But here we go. Starting to make a little bit of cash here in the afternoon. So let's just monitor it as we go. Let's get out at 195 if Tesla breaks, guys.
There you go. And look, you got to have a plan of action. That's what it's all about. Until you get punched in the mouth, as someone famous said. I don't know who that guy was. But NVIDIA did bounce off 161 a little bit too tightly there. I kind of thought when the move was coming back in, we'd see a little bit of VWAP, but the market's coming in. I don't want to reload these shorts, as I said. I want to let them ride as long as they can hold my stop levels. And thank you, David Kyle. He's like, I'm back just to hit the like button. We love you, David. There's definitely going to be, if we break out the high of the day here and there's buy imbalances, there could be a little something through the top of a few of these names. But yeah, we appreciate you coming back in here. It's been an unbelievable week. I always try to say in the afternoon, you don't want to overtrade, but if you get something that's working, give it a bit of a chance. So we just pulled back half of the move on the ES. So 39.90, 40.10. We just went halfway back on the ES. The NASDAQ kind of doing a similar thing. Roblox here, that barely bounced. So as far as I'm concerned, I want to give it, maybe I end up taking out at 36, but I want to give it some room. If it's barely going to come back up toward the high of the day after that pullback when the market just did that big of a rebound, then I feel like if we roll over, this should be the right one. And a similar thing with Snapchat, although the issue with Snapchat is how darn strong Meta just got for me. So Meta's he's made another push to the upside. If Meta gets to 114, I might just take out Snapchat wherever it is, almost not caring what that level happens to be. And then back over to AMC, I did have a long break. It didn't last long. That was more accidental than anything else. But this is still, there's buyers at 690 on the stock. That's where the short was the best we were able to do. So until it breaks 690, this is probably going to give you some scalp trades off of that level. Maybe we get some time if it dips back in to play that 690. But whoever it is buying down there, they've been holding it pretty much the entire afternoon since about 1:30, that 690 level on AMC. So I'll respect that if it comes back down. I didn't grab the long before, but I'll grab it this time.
All right. Yeah, we're just sort of hanging on by a thread here with our positions as Tesla's almost back through 195, and it looks like AMD does want to go upside. So sort of our thought about maybe the market coming back in here into the close doesn't necessarily read properly right now. So yeah, we did take that 50 period again there. That's sort of the death candle here for me, because the minute you take it out, you know, the idea was that we never take it out again, that we just kept on floating to the downside. The fact that now we've come back up does sort of trigger me to believe that, you know, these names that are strong names today do want to go back up. I mean, the market failed on that break. It had every chance to go back to the downside, and it didn't do it. So yeah, that is causing, that is giving me some reason for pause here and concern. But you can see all these shorts, we've been taking it out when it's dipped back down in a little bit. So just like now, I have some 50 bids again. See, like now that it's falling in, like we're short at 57. So if I can just sort of start to take a little bit out here, like 52s, 53s, things like that, and then hold on to like 70% of it, if we get that move down, then, you know, that makes me sleep a little bit better, because I am now a little bit concerned. See, there's the 53. I am a little bit concerned that the market did retake that 50 period. My thinking is that the sell-off continues here this afternoon. Not that we get that bump up, but that's why we trade a little conservatively here, heading into the close. Neil and I have to be flat at the end of every day, so it's not like we can hold for 410 or anything like that, or for Monday morning, nor would I advise doing that this week for sure. But there it is. We reloaded it a couple times up here, and yeah, so we reloaded it. 64s, look where we've been getting out. 56s and 53s. I don't... It's not been, it's been profitable because we've been doing that, but I understand that you traders at home don't have the ability to make all of these trades. So if you're still short, fine. Our short hasn't been taken out yet, so everything is good. All right, there's Tesla. Hey, Tesla's a positive name for us. We're gonna hit the sirens, but we're out now on a 195 break. We knew that was the risk of that trade, so unfortunately, there goes Tesla, now breaking up higher. So good on you if you were able to pick up some of those bids. We were holding for the bigger flush. That's what dreams are made of, just not today.
Yeah, and I'm actually starting to give some pause to both the shorts I'm holding on to, because if you take out that fresh high, and yes, I almost don't want to be sitting in it, even if it hasn't broken my stop. I'm looking at Amazon here, though, and it's starting to slow down halfway through, so it was probably right to get out at 100. It is very tempting to just get back into the short, and I'm literally having to stop myself from shorting in the middle here on Amazon, because it is looking like it wants to roll over. You get south of 4,000, that one makes a heck of a lot of sense. And then for those of you that are still watching that DWAC move, yeah, it's I just say, I'm not shorting that 25 level because it's a little bit strong going into it. Of course, it's starting to make that bit of a pullback. It is dead on volume. That's the other thing. Not a heck of a lot of volume with DWAC here. AMC's starting to run out of steam. And then when I see, they're in the chat, just Tony Price talking about SoFi. I missed the SoFi long, and that sucked because SoFi's been, look, a lot of things have been super strong today. SoFi's just one of them. But $6 next week on SoFi. The high of the day today is $6. It's at $5.95. Now, I'm not saying it can't break 6 right now, and yes, I want the long to break 6. But even if it doesn't break this level, maybe you make a double top here today. We come in on Monday, and SoFi has a shot at that 6 break. I will be looking for this as well. But it's close enough. And this would be a scalp trade 100% because it's now 3:30. There's not a lot of time for this to go very far. But it's a double top. It's 6 even. The stock was just at $5, I mean, I don't know if it got to exactly, yeah, it broke $5 essentially on the number yesterday, I guess. Yeah, so it was just at $5, and now you're looking at a double top 6. But it has to break the level. I think you have to respect resistance. That's why I have a couple of shorts on. But I'm looking for something to quickly just take a top break because I don't have any support to buy off right now for any long position. So I'm kind of hanging on to the last couple of shorts that we've scalped some out and then looking for just some quick executions. SoFi through 6. I can get ones long, let's just say, and maybe you can get 610. That's essentially what I'd be looking for at this time of day.
All right, so we did get stopped out on AMD. You know, we tried it. I thought it looked pretty good, and then we talked about getting nervous as the market did break to the upside here. This name's pretty choppy here, Microsoft. Oh, by the way, let's just I just want to quickly look at DraftKings. Remember where we were long DraftKings earlier today, 1370? Look, like, and somehow
without looking,
dips
is it
down.
at 15?
Yeah, it's at 15. It's at 1480 right now.
I didn't cheat. I didn't.
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's where it is. That's exactly where it is. So it's a nice move. It stopped at 15, and it didn't take out 15. So that's another level there to have a quick look at. The ES is bouncing off 4,000 as well. Well, it's above it, but it's talking about it right here. So that could be something. AMD's pulled back a little bit, making me think I want to get the short, but I don't know if I do. What's up, Brandon?
Makers having a pretty good day. I was just noticing this one, RL, just took out day highs, in fact, on decent volume. So Ralph Lauren, 11% to the upside, decent volume coming in here. There's also this, Estee Lauder up 4%. This note came out today. Estee Lauder nearing a nearly $3 billion deal to pick up Tom Ford. Guys, going to be under the Estee Lauder brand.
Tom, okay. Consolidation. Dude, make your moves there. Look, the only reason I was mentioning that DraftKings is if there's a stock out there, and why is my 200 period not? Come on, load up. Give me that 200 period a little bit further back. It's going to load in a second.
Oh, that's why.
Oh, it's because it's not giving me data. There you go. But if there's a stock that has been respecting a level on the daily that I have sort of locked and loaded, it's been DraftKings and the 200 period moving average. Like, yes, you've had some wicks through it, but look at this thing essentially ride it. So if it gets up to 16, like I think it could break this level. Certainly, you give a wick top, but eventually at some point, you either just keep playing this trend off shorts there, or you get a close above the 200 on DraftKings. The next day, if I'm not long, somebody slapped me in the face. I say that a lot, but it's more to remind myself. If you close, if there's a close above, and the next day you're opening and making any kind of a consolidation breakout on DraftKings, just look at the trend off this bad boy. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, at some point, it might get there, it might not. I saw someone in the chat just mentioning they're shorting BAC. I mean, I don't really, like, it's like everything else. Like, it's off the highs, lower highs here. That's not much different from the other short setups. I don't really see anything in particular. We know the banks have been strong, but it has been sort of the other end of the coin that's been stronger, which is your investment banks, like your Morgans and your JPs and your Goldmans of the world. So if I was in it, I'd be, like everything else, I'd be thinking about taking some profit down there. I'm going to take some more shares out of Snapchat because, it's now starting to run out of time and it's starting to run out of steam. The only reason I'm not on the bid here again at 60 is because Meta just rolled over 50 pennies. So I think, Snapchat should be able to give like a 10-cent move. If Meta's going to roll that 50, I think it should be able to go a little bit further than that. But at some point, it's not breaking this channel, and I'm going to have to adjust the stop. Actually, I can adjust my stop at the high of the day there, adjust it for fewer shares, and adjust the price, tightening things up. Got to have tighter stops so we get closer to the close.
Serenity now. Oh, big thank you to our sponsor right here. Thank you so much to True Trading Group again. They've been sponsoring us for probably a couple months, it seems like.
Easy.
Right now, so thank you again for True Trading Group. Click that link, find out what they're all about. Thank you so much, guys. Again, big supporters of the show. Hey, yo, Mike, what's going on? Okay, so, look, man, AMD, Neil was talking there. We got back into the short, wicked out there at 81. We got out at 70. Notice the top there. We got back into the short, and we just cashed it out there. I don't know if you could see. There's the short right there. So that's short set 68. First out, 55, that's 13 pennies. Then 50, that's 18. And then it just got smoked down there to the downside at 43. So we just got another out there at 43. So out at 43, that's a 24-cent win there on that position. So far, so good for that trade. But again, man, we got stopped out when we had more shares there. So, but now we're out of 20, 40, 60% of that. I just wanted to show you guys AMD. I couldn't really find, I was debating shorting Microsoft, like I was saying, but that seems to be too choppy. We did a good out on Apple, but again, same type of thing. That's our last out on Apple. It's respecting the 200 period, but now we're getting close to the end of the day. When it was 313, we thought a little different about everything. Right now, it's okay, let's just see where these positions kind of want to settle out. And it's just like that AMD trade. Now it came right back up, what? So let's put on a couple more shares maybe, and then see what happens. Like, that's why you got to scalp out. Like, I don't know if there's any positions to be put on here if you guys are looking for something into the end of the day. Other than, I know Neil just talked about AMC a little bit, 690. Oh, that's right back up. So we messed around with that.
It might not happen though, that's the thing.
No, we messed around with that at 7, broke, and we got out. But yo, what's up there? How do I get my name blue? Oh, you got to be blue? You can't. Just let me get a hoodie. You can get a hoodie for sure. Go into our store on Amazon. Maybe we should start selling them on Amazon. On YouTube. And you'll be able to see our store there and grab them. Ships anywhere in the U.S. So we just work through Teespring. So they sort of, we give them some of the goods there. And I ordered one for Sharif today, so he's going to have his back there on Monday. So, well, I don't know, it's not going to come in on Monday, but he's back on the show Monday. All right, AMD did fall back down a little bit, so that's something that we're looking at there. Thanks for the super chat, by the way. The blue, I didn't answer your question as I see J Trade talk there. You have to be a moderator. Yeah. So shout out to Bears vs. Bulls and everybody else that is out there helping us. Thank you so much. Amazon, $100.50. Right now, Spiders with a great call. And those Qs are now up, like I just said, 40x. So no matter what we make on the show here, there's a lot of money being made behind. So good job so far there. Netflix up to 290 as well. Fantastic. I actually cashed. Oh yeah, I should tweet that out. I cashed out of some Netflix today too. So good move on Netflix. We're long. I was long at 175 on Netflix. So cashed some out today. It was the first time. The first time I ever entered Netflix was at $50, and I remember getting out at like 60 or 55 or something ridiculous back in the day. I've been managing my own portfolio since like 20, maybe even under that. 21, 22, maybe under that as well. So, we have a lot of shares for a lot of good prices, but Netflix, good out. It was during the middle of the day, so I think I got out somewhere around here, 284, 285. I did them on the Canadian side, so I don't know exactly the price. But I was in the money.
The CDRs, you mean?
CDRs, yeah. I was in the money, something like 48% or something in 3 months. So we took that profit. But again, we're definitely getting crushed on a lot of the other names, but nice to see Netflix working out for us. There it is. So AMD just got reloaded back to the upside. Let's see what happens here with AMD.
So I guess I was wrong about this one, Mobileye. I still don't want to buy Mobileye unless this thing gets probably like $15, but you know, it ended up holding that low pretty well. It's actually breaking up, so it's up through 30 and fresh highs on Mobileye. I'm a little bit surprised, but the market's making a big move. So I know when this IPO came out, we're long the IPO day because that's what you do on the first day. But I was the first person saying, yeah, I think it's just gonna be short after that. It's probably gonna break the lows and pick it up in the teens, that kind of story. I guess I was wrong about Mobileye, and it's on one. I'm still gonna wait very patiently before getting in, even thinking about this in the long term. I see a couple of people in the chat. Someone was saying, look at AbbVie. I did look at it. I'll give it this. It's doing better than some of the other. It's doing better than like an Eli or some of the other names that I was watching in the healthcare space. It's actually flat on the day when a lot of those other defensive names are down. So I think that's absolutely fantastic. I didn't really see a trade as to why it would make some sense outside of, hey, it's at 150. It could break 150 on a top break, but this is probably the last stock. That's too extreme of a thing to say. It's exactly the kind of stock that I wouldn't take a top break at 340 on. Like, it's just unlikely to have the kind of momentum you want to it. Like, I don't mind SoFi, because I figure there might be some people, jamming their shorts in there or shorting in front of this level, and then when their stops get run, you might actually have some room for it to go. Like, it's stops run to the upside, people shorten these highs, and then you get out. I don't know if you see that on something like an AbbVie. Yeah, 150 looks gorgeous there on the chart. I just don't know if you get that follow through.
We were just, and I tried to aggressively. We were waiting at 72, 74 to get more short for AMD, and we missed, it was right there. I could have just punched the offer. Oh man, hopefully it comes back up and fills us. We're getting close to averaging into the short there on AMD. Literally 1 penny away from a 15-cent winner right now. That sucks. Frustrating close here, but we still got a nice winner on, whatever. It's 10 cents in the money, but it should be way more than that for AMD. We just missed the reload there. That might have put our net where it needed to be. But okay, Brenda, what's up?
Pretty positive note just out, guys, from JP Morgan on maybe what's to come in December. They see equities squeezing even higher into the holidays. So That was just out there around 330 for JPM. I mean, not about JPM specifically, but we are ticking higher even on JP Morgan, guys. So they think the market goes higher into the holidays.
Well, so, you know, sometimes you're good luck, Brendan. No, I'm kidding, but that's a great sign. I mean, the fact that, look, you might not have seen a bottom necessarily in the market, but I think we definitely saw something that gives you a bit of a temp rally, to be sure. So I think we could have some more upside. I just got trailed out of Roblox. I talked about tightening stops up as you get closer to the end of the day. I wanted this to be able to break the channel again to the downside, get through 36 and follow through, but instead you break the channel to the upside. So I'm just out of Roblox. Snapchat's been a little bit different. It's still holding, you know, it's still holding down. NF, what the heck is NF?
I don't know.
NY.
I've never understood what NF is. I think it's New Zealand or something.
Oh, I thought it was NZ. So
I have no idea.
we have to actually put in the code. It's
Newfoundland market.
Newfoundland, whatever. We have to put in the stock name, and then we have to put in the market code as well. So I just typed NF. That's why it was the wrong chart. But this is still holding the bottom of the channel, so I'm giving a chance for Snapchat to go. But Roblox, yes, the short work, but it didn't really follow through. I'm looking for Snapchat to do that. I have scalps them out there, but it might be the last one I hold on to. SoFi still has a chance to break 6, but it's running out of time to do so, obviously, with only about 15 minutes here to go. I'm going to look it up Aftermarket because I'm kind of curious what the heck that is. And Amazon, definitely the right thing to get out. As I'm on my train ride home, I'll be asking myself why I didn't try the long back up through 100 on Amazon. It probably, I don't know, I should have had it. That's it. I should have had that one. Once all my longs at the highs came out, I was basically only looking short, and it worked. But there's 161 on NVIDIA. There was 100 on Amazon. There were some opportunities out there for me. Yes, the shorts are some still working here, but yeah, that bounce was a great opportunity to get back into the trend, into the upside. Should have just pulled that trigger on NVIDIA and Amazon. I'm willing to bet you Intel's probably running as well, but I'm kind of glad I stayed away from that. I feel if you have a bad read on something, you just got to stay away from it, and that was definitely me on Intel. I knew the day that it did this, I was going to be like, okay, I'll sit it out and then see what it does on Monday, which is probably continue to go a bit higher. Those stink bids are working pretty well off 25. I still do think they are in some trouble, and they're going to have some work to do when it comes to their turnaround. But at some point, it just became a pretty solid value. And this chart does look pretty solid in terms of a breakout. I might have to at least consider some longs next week. I'll say that much.
Yeah, I talked to myself also in my car there, Mike H. Funny guy. Okay, so I'm a little bit like, you know, upset because we should have had that AMD short and then I would have caught some outs. Now we got to catch this on the way back up as the market's trying to go and take out some of these levels. So I don't know if our AMD is going to work out. We only have 4 minutes now until the imbalance locator comes through. So let's call that up. Let's get rid of ARCA right now because this is going to make it, not make or break. Brennan gave us 280 million shares notional to buy. So we'll see if that comes through. These are going to update at 350, and then the market will rally or go one way depending on what those numbers do show. So I'm going to sit here, try to take some short into this. Hopefully we are able to get some. I'm waiting at 69, then again in the 70s where we got missed last time. So MindMed up 10% today. Good move on that one. Tesla's right back to that 196 level as we look. I mean, remember when we got stopped out of Coinbase? Like, sometimes you just got to hold these things. There we are getting stopped out. Now it's $1 in the money. But that's trader life, right? I mean, you're always going to look back and be like, hey, wish I would have held that position. But,
should have an animation for that.
That's fine. There should be a lot of animations. So,
well, yeah,
we're coming up to that one very, very soon. Getting some more animations. But, yeah, what an exhausting week, man. We are here for you during CPI. Game started early that day. What a great day that was. Shout out to Arun for holding it down. That was a lot of fun that day, and we rocked it. We're rocking it today again, like I said. And it has nothing to do. We're going short. Like, I'm a bull just as much as I'm a bear. And, like, honestly, this has been just such a great market, no matter which way you wanted to trade. Obviously, the last little while, it's been very bullish. But, anything can switch around. So get ready for an exciting week next week. Fed, the window's now open. They can start talking into their next meeting. So we'll look to see if there's any more Fed speech coming out next week. We just got another piece there. So we finally got a little bit of a reload there at 69. niner on AMD, so you can see that tick come in right there. We told you we were getting short, so right there, that's now going to be 10 cents, hopefully down into the money. We'll get out in the mid 50s if it does go down there, but so far so good here on some of these reloads. I will, TJ Fresh, you don't worry. I will reload this voice, hopefully as well over the weekend. But like tonight,
just don't yell curling.
It's not. I can't. I have to, man.
Are you
No. The kids
again,
want.
or?
I mean.
Are you coaching again this weekend?
Yeah, I'm the man. I'm the man everywhere, bro. So that's the thing. Coaching tonight is swimming. So that's the one where the kids can just relax. I'll sit there on my phone, look at fantasy sports, watch them swim. But then they're always like waving, hey, and I'm just like, whatever, man. They're like level. They're like my 8-year-old's like a level 10 or something. Like they're already, they know what they're doing on that kind of stuff. And then we're at 3 hockey rinks tomorrow, 2 hockey rinks on Sunday, and then curling on Sunday morning. So
I would trade.
Lots of fun.
My weekend is going to be my wife, because look, I may have been off for 2 days looking after my daughter who's sick, but my wife is doing it 3 out of those 5 days, so she's going to the spa, and it's daddy-daughter weekend. And hopefully she's feeling better so we can have a little bit of fun. She's been dying to go to the aquarium again. I don't know if we're going to get a chance to do that. I'm still in a couple of positions here. So we're about to get the imbalances. I've now moved my bid up to where we're at on Snapchat, and then one lower, and then I'm tightening my stop, as I should actually do that. So I'm going to tighten my stop into just below break even. And then if we can get some out here and it flushes, we'll get more out at 1140, and then I'll tighten my stop to 1170 just to make sure we lock into profit. I'm not going to take the SoFi break even if it happens at this point. We're past that point, I think, ultimately. I think on Monday, I'll be looking for that to go. But the other thing I want to point out is, hey, we're not done earnings, man. Like, we get NVIDIA next week. That's going to be NVIDIA earnings should be monstrous, right? Like, you see what AMD is doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait till we saw, like, Intel had a crappy report, and that stock went nuts the next day to the upside. Like, what happens if NVIDIA beats? So, like, definitely excited for some earnings to come through next week. Lots of catalysts out there. Always trade with a bit of a plan, but you can, like, I'm not saying 100% next day after NVIDIA earnings, that's going to be the number one stock I trade in terms of, amount of executions or where my focus is in the morning. But it's the first thing I will look at when I sit down is going to be NVIDIA. I think it's on the 16th, I want to say, those NVIDIA earnings. And damn you, Amazon, it's right back up to that high of the day. So I'm not putting a short on at that high like we did last time because it is imbalances in 3 seconds.
2 and 1. Let's see what these imbalances bring us right now. BlackBerry with a sell for 6.2 million shares. I don't know. Who knows what's going on with that name? It could be. We can find out if there's a delete on BlackBerry. But let's get this final number from Brendan. He's loading it up right now for us. So we're just net short. I'm not looking to put on anything really, to be honest with you right now. If AMD goes above 80, we're out of that one. We're going to take some more shares on AMD if it does come out. What? 3 with a B to buy. That's good enough for me. I'm going to take out another piece there on AMD. So $3 billion to buy, says Brendan. No real
AMD's
action. AMD's a sell, not moving, but okay, good. I didn't see it. Apple was a big buy there, so I think that's why I just saw it and then it just disappeared again. So I don't know. Oh, there's AMD with the sell. So nice little sell side action on AMD. 734,000 shares to sell. Doesn't seem to matter as it's not moving. We took a 57 bid, so yay on that one. Other than that, man, I don't. Oh, there's Apple right there. So Apple with the buy, and again, did create it to shoot up about 80 cents. Up to 80 cents, 149.80 from 149.50. So right there, nice little move to the upside as we go. So let's see if it can come back in right now. So far, so good here, man. Crypto 16.6 right now for Bitcoin. And I guess they've declared that bankruptcy there on FTX. So should be a fun weekend to see sort of what flows out from the crypto markets as well.
Yeah, Buck, if you trade the weekends, which, I mean, if you're a crypto trader, you do. It'll be a wild one there. This is going to be hard to see on the SPY. There we go. But on that imbalance, when the imbalances came out, we spiked to the high, whether it's the ES or the SPY, we spiked to the high and then slammed right back down. I did end up getting some of the Snapchat out on that move to the upside. Like, it did try to break this channel, so I got some out at that 60, and then I'm holding on to the rest for that 70 stop. So we're still in the middle of the range here. I don't really see anything happening on. I'm going to have BlackBerry up. I mean, it's a pretty significant imbalance that we did just see there, but it's not really doing a heck of a lot. And like 6 million shares, it's done 17, but it's only a $5 stock, so it's not really, notional value is not gigantic there. But I'll have this one up. Maybe it takes out a $5 level. It's a sell imbalance for what it's worth. Doesn't mean it has to move, but yeah, $5 stock. You know what? I kind of expected the chart to look worse than this as I called it up. I was about to rag on it, but you know what? It actually broke the 50 period. It's not going to close above the 50 period, but hey, it got there at some point today.
I mean, it was $4 20 days ago.
I haven't looked at it
since. Some
since.
of these names are just.
I can't remember the last time I looked at this, to be honest. Probably the last earnings is when we looked at it last.
Yeah, or just when whenever there's memes kind of going nuts there.
Let's
just check back on AMC again. Yeah, good call on that one, guys. So those of you that defended that, I tried to defend the $7 level. It just broke twice. That's all. So once it broke twice, I was like, okay. They didn't want to defend it the first time. Why are they going to do it a second time? But there it is right there. Nice break of 7. Definitely respected down there to 695. Now a nice little upside move there for that name. Yeah. By the way, we're as soon as we saw that AMD sell and it was out, so we just took out a whole bunch. Let me see if we zoom in a little bit here. So there's again reloaded, out like 56, out 50, out 40, 50 again. So I think that's a 52, that's a 50. Good shorts. These are all the shorts. These are all the outs. So far so good, except for when it broke right there, and then we got right back in. So we just ticked up high side again. We're short right here at 69. I have like 10% left of this position, just trying to see if there is a chance for us to do a little bit of damage here, back down in. But again, giving this 10 cents, trying to take 10 cents. My orders are down here at 50, so if AMD goes down there, then we will take that out. But for right now, that's it, man. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Definitely make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and make sure you join us back here again on Monday at 8:30, where we'll be taking the helm for you and sort of guiding you through the market. Also, shout out to True Trading Group. That's right up there. If you're on our chat, you can see that link. Click it, go over there, see what those boys are all about.
Exactly. It's all about that community, guys. And look, we're here pretty much every single day for you. If the market's open, then we're going to be here for sure. Before we, I just want to also remind everybody, hey, it's Remembrance Day. This is a big day. Is a big day for remembrance. So at some point, just give a shout out to somebody that served, whatever it might be. Just do a nice, kind deed. Pay it forward, right? Like that's what it's all about. Ultimately, I kind of feel like that's kind of what we're doing. Like we're on a trading floor here. We've had the ability to sit around other traders. Like I've got to sit next to Sean for a lot of years, and a lot of other good traders as well. Bounce ideas off of, and a lot of people trading at home. You might not get that experience. Hopefully, that's what we're bringing to you. To the extent that we try to do that every single day, it's so that you can get different perspectives, see some ideas. They don't all work out, man. You saw me shorting Intel today. That didn't work out. But it's all about having a plan of action and then what to do with it. I wish I was only long today, but did have some short ideas. The afternoon ones have been good, but the morning ones all sucked, right? But it's true.
Yeah, that's fine.
But it's true. But it's just you have to have a plan of action every single day, and it's going to mean sometimes you take those hits. But I'll tell you this right now: you're not going to be angry with yourself as a trader if you trade your plan and you take a hit. So be it. It's when you break that plan. It's when you do something that you know wasn't a good idea, or it was like a C setup and you treated it like an A setup. That's when you're going to get frustrated with yourself. That's what you want to work past. Everybody does it. I've done it. I was short Tesla the other day. The day it went 195 to 180. I was short, but I got in too early. I can show you guys the chart. I don't know why my trades aren't showing up for it, but it was on this day. I like the 195 level on this day. And I shorted at 190 instead of 195, which meant I couldn't hold it to $5 against me. And then it flushed, actually broke 180. And the reason I was upset at that loss was because I didn't trade my plan. If I had shorted that same level and it went to 200 and I get stopped out for a $1 hit, who cares? So what? It's more that I didn't follow the plan, and then it ended up being gangbusters. Tesla, by the way, right back up to this barcoding top here. This could be setting up for a run at that 200 next week, to be sure, guys. So it's all about that. Yeah, to be honest, tank not. Yeah, sure, it's being honest, but I find I love doing this. Like, you have to be honest, like verbally. Either you're talking to somebody out loud, like we do to you guys, or to like a trading buddy that holds you accountable, that you can say, this is where I screwed up, this is what I did that's stupid, or this makes no bloody sense, why is this moving? And then someone will be like, oh yeah, by the way, this happened. Like these guys telling me about Amazon. I actually missed the Amazon cost cutting yesterday. I didn't catch that news, but like I was like, why is it, what are you talking about? And then Sean mentioned it to me. I'm like, yeah, just have a trading buddy out there. Hopefully we can be that to you guys, but keep yourself honest to yourself. You got to be honest to yourself first. To others, obviously, it makes sense too, but be honest with yourself in your trading and you should be okay.
Yeah, I just pretty much talked to myself. But no, you're 100%
No,
right.
that's fine, too.
No, I'm just playing around. Yeah, I have the demons there. But look what's happening with AMD right now. So let's go siren alert for that one. We just got out. So there it is at 40. So good trade for me on that one for AMZN. For AMD. We were just talking about Amazon there. Good trade there as you're noticing what's happening here with this name. We just took the short. That's a good win for us at the end of the day, 30 cents like that. So nice move. We did hold out we got one piece out at 50, then one piece out right there. So yeah, man, I mean, I wish we had a little bit more movement earlier on this spot for you guys, but there's a nice trade for us. So we're going to end the day with a fail on AMD. Nice move to the downside right there. So yeah, great day again, great week. Thank you again for supporting us. We'll have a quick look at the imbalance locator one more time. And as we were talking, man, everyone's saying like, look, good win, man, good win, good day today. Thanks for the show, best show on YouTube. Like, thanks, Daryl. What's up, man? Nice winner for end of day. Yeah, you're right. We'll do this for Daryl. Bang. What's up, Daryl?
Here's Daryl.
Right there. He said, bang, win on AMD. Nice winner for end of day. Yeah, real nice winner for end of day there on AMD. Nice move down. I just wish, obviously, when you look back, you're like, oh, wow, nice little flush. But, hey, we thought this would happen. Couple good shorts there to end the day on AMD. We're not going to finish the day at our highest spot, but it's pretty close right there for us. So far, so good on this, man. Good day. We're wrapping it up. Like I said, it's been a really great month for us. Everything's been juicy on these trades, man. I mean, it just keeps on getting that way. Like, no matter what you think can happen, something else. Wow, Palantir today. Didn't realize this, Henry. Good move up for Palantir right there at the end of the day. Look at that, bouncing off the 200 right there. So when markets are trending and when names are trending, you got to watch out for those periods, right? You got to look out for trend-changing moving averages. I've picked the 200 period. It's just a 1 minute chart. That's probably too aggressive for many of you, but that's what I look at, the 1 minute chart, and there it was right there. Nice little dump off, then a resist. Palantir up 10%. Was down to 7 on earnings, 850 today. Good job so far, man. Where's Katrine? She's supposed to be ringing the bell. I don't know. Yeah, but you're going to ring it today. Okay, Fahad, on the bell with only a few seconds left.
Yeah, we got about 30 seconds to go. Look, we ask, we don't really ask a heck of a lot, and a lot of people are like, Neil, you going to wrap today? No, we made some rules, and we're supposed to get to 2,000 likes. But I'm actually considering something because, I like doing it. I like for those of you that are big fans of it, maybe I'll just start taping a few, and then we'll release them, and then the people that actually follow us, we can definitely do it. But we didn't hit 2,000. We hit 2,000 any day next week. What I have prepared today, we'll do it that day, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But now in 3, 2, and where's Fahad? One. Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Oops. Gonna make sure we cancel our stop orders.
Oh yeah. So. Well, that's right. Cancel all your orders. You don't want to get filled in the aftermarket. And we can't show Fahad's face, but that was Fahad ringing the bell. As always, Fahad, quite the character. I don't know. At some point, we're going to show his face. You're going to be like, yeah, it's all about Fahad. But fun day today for sure. We know how the market ended up, but I just wanted to shout out a couple of names that were wow. CCL, I remember when when the market opened up at about 940 or something like that, I was like, oh, CCL is not holding up very well at all because it was just tanking. Closes up 6%. Like the market was a moving freight train today, and even the stocks that were getting their butt kicked on Friday, in the morning, have come all the way back. And we just got a little bit of a gift from the trading floor manager there. I'm assuming that was Greg. That was Greg, right?
It was Greg.
Yes. There was a graduation on the CPI number. A couple of traders graduated, so there'll be a couple of drinks after. That's how we celebrate around here.
All right, Friday afternoon, guys. Big day, big everything happening there once again. Shout out to whoever that was ringing the bell. Thank you for that. Apparently, some people say they might have saw your face a little bit there.
How?
Did they, Lucas, or no? No. Pete Lucas is denying that.
No,
so I don't think that's going to be true again. But there it is. Cheers to everybody out there. Have a great weekend. Brendan does not have his beer, but Greg, yeah.
Wow, Greg. Wow.
The forgotten man out there. I'm going to have one of these, and I got to hit the car, get home.
Right, man.
So it should be a lot of fun. We're celebrating some graduates in the back. You can hear some chaos in the mind in the background right there. Sorry, Brendo. You didn't quite cut it today, boy. I think what happens is like Greg makes an assessment. He figures it out, and it's like, oh, we only have 2 beers left. Now they have a lot of beers. Beers coming No, Greg's still not getting it. Okay,
No,
so
no,
forget
he's
about
not.
it.
He's legit
All right,
not. Yeah.
let's just wrap this up. All right, thanks to Sharif, thanks to Trader Pratt, thanks to Neil, thanks Lucas, Fahad, thanks to everybody today. It's been a great one. I want to say thank you to everybody for watching. Thanks for hitting the like. We're back on Monday, boys and girls. So thank you. Lift one up, and Brendan, you'll get one in a second. For Trader TV Live, Brendan, Neil, and Sean. There we go. Fahad running. Oh, wow.
Here we go.
Juice box for Brendan
juice
might
box.
be appropriate. Yeah. All right. So
Hints. Hints, I guess. Cheers. I don't know. Cheers, guys.
too much sugar in that, Brendan. Don't actually drink that. What are you, crazy?
No, man.
Okay. See you guys. We'll see you on Monday.
Put some
Ciao. Have a
vodka in
great
it.
one.
Ciao.